Basira area where this attack took place, and right now we are showing those terrorists who were involved in the terrorist attack in which 28 tourists were killed and many more were injured. We are showing those terrorists who were masked and they were in camouflage, and the eyewitnesses told us that they were masked and they told us, your religion, what's your religion? After that they fired upon us indiscriminately. Right now we are showing the ground zero visuals from Anantnag GMC hospital.
Absolutely, but Ashik, I want to understand from you, of course we've accessed these visuals of the 4 terrorists who were involved in that terror attack, but give us an understanding, do we have details on these 4 individuals, names perhaps?
Right now, Sabari, we can we don't know their names, but this is believed to be the Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists. These 4 terrorists have been involved, and this is not possible without the local terror supports. Right now, we are showing the exclusive picture of those terrorists who were armed and they fired upon tourists indiscriminately, and the situation is right now very much tense in South Kashmir areas. Particularly right now you can see the Home Minister is visiting, the security has beefed up all over the Kashmir, and right now before this Home Minister was at the spot where this attack took place, and you can see the picture how these armed terrorists were in hiding in those forest areas, densely forest areas where this attack took place. Savadi.
Absolutely. You know, of course, we were in conversation with Mr. N.K. Sood. Adding to the question, sir, again, these visuals have been accessed. It tells us the fact that there is swift, swift action that is taking place. We've accessed the sketches. Now we have the first image of the Pahalgam terrorists. We've accessed that. What do you make of it, sir?
I think that our agencies are working fine, very good, excellent job that they are doing. And their names will also come out, and their identity, their addresses, they will also come out, because I think RAW and NTRO, they are working around the clock. They will find out, and then they will plan an action against Pakistan, how to pin Pakistan down. This will be done, but I think our agencies are very active. Of course, some people question the role of intelligence agencies when such kind of incident happen, but it happens, you know. Lot of things that we have done in the past. Whenever this terrorist attacks were there, they were being conducted all over India, but then they are confined to Srinagar. And after that, you know, when the Pathankot attack or Uri attack, we had given definite information to our agencies, you know, to the army. But the local commanders, but it was some mistake on the part of local commanders that these attacks came, you know. They didn't take full precaution. Of course, as far as Pulwama attack was there was not definite information, but information was there. But when Balakot was conducted, it was precisely on the basis of intelligence inputs given, where their terror camps are located, and how many terrorists are there. At that time also, some of our politicians, they had questioned. When it was said that 300 terrorists were killed, they questioned, who are the terrorists? How do you have the information? They are questioned about India's capabilities and Indian agencies' capabilities and Indian Army and Air Force capabilities. Now again, this question is being raised. Rahul Gandhi is sitting abroad and he is talking about India's accountability. I would like to mention here that whenever Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, something big happens in India. Because from India he can't do that. And it is said that Rahul Gandhi, when goes abroad, he has a lot of network which work against India. From there the things are planned. There is a powerful lady in the Congress who was an arms agent, but this information was specifically hidden from the government. And you see, Rahul Gandhi's, what is your accountability? What is your nationality? Are you Indian or British? What is your accountability in the National Herald case? Why don't you say? Where is the money? What is their accountability? When you go to China in August 2008 and sign an agreement, private agreement with Chinese government, Sonia Gandhi was also with there. Give this accountability, show to the world who you are, what you are doing, what your Chinese connections are there. When this Chinese had entered Doklam, you go and meet the Chinese ambassador. but you don't meet the Indians. When there were a lot of agitations in Nepal against the Raja, and when efforts were made to remove him from power, Sonia Gandhi sent Yechuri to Nepal, but Yechuri didn't meet. He didn't meet Indian ambassador. He was meeting the Chinese ambassador, and we were just helpless. I was posted there. So all these things need accountability. So Rahul Gandhi, show your accountability, who you are, where your loyalty lies, and then you ask the government about the loyalty, about this your accountability. So these questions must be answered by the congressmen or the leaders,
Okay, absolutely. So stay on with us. One more exclusive piece of information we have over here with us. I'm going to quickly request my crew to pan on what I have over here on my screens. We have now names as well flashing. This is Asif Sheikh, a local terrorist. That's of course a visual of him, and we also have a visual of Asif Fauji. So again, those two visuals are also coming in at this point of time. A reporter is going to be joining us very shortly to give us an understanding on that front. But back to back, we have visuals that are coming in at this point of time. So again, those visuals flashing on our screens. Just about a minute ago, we also showed you visuals of all four of the terrorists who were involved in this heinous attack, this heinous terrorist attack, and now we of course have names also coming in at this point of time. A reporter is going to be joining us very shortly to give us an understanding and an update as well, but for now those visuals coming in on the broadcast. Visuals there flashing on your screens. Remember, 26 innocent lives have been claimed, and of course it's an irreparable loss, not just for the families of the victims but for India as well. And again, those visuals flashing right on your screens. Ashik is on the telecast with me. Ashik, of course we were talking about names, identities, and now we have a few of the two terrorists. What more can you tell us?
Well, absolutely, Saveri. Another image of terrorist we have accessed. It's Asif Sheikh, who has joined the LET 2 years before, and he was active in many terror incidents in South Kashmir area. Particularly, we have seen Asif Fauji. His name is Asif Sheikh. He is the local resident of the South Kashmir, and he is also involved in this terror attack which has taken place in Pahalgam's meadows. Right now, we are showing one by one terrorists who were involved. Before this, we have shown a sketch of terrorists, and after that we showed 4 terrorists. Those are the terrorists who are affiliated with the Pakistan-based terror organization Lashkar-e-Toiba. Right now, the continuously search is going on to trace these hiding terrorists who are hiding in densely forested area in Pahalgam.
Right, absolutely, Ashiki. Of course, these terrorists are in hiding, but what are the details that we have on that front? Do we know anything at this point of time?
Well, exactly, the Indian Army's paracommandos and the ENI team has reached the spot where this attack has took place, and the security operation is continuously going on since yesterday. The extra drone surveillance and the helicopter service has put in place to track these terrorists, because this is the highly densely forested area where these terrorists are hiding since many days, and we are getting the info that these terrorists has done the wreckery of this area before a couple of months. Right now, they attacked on the area where the large number of tourists are going. Pahalgam is the world famous tourist destination, and thousands of tourists visit there in a day. And the area where this attack has took place, tourists has gone there by foot and by ponywalas help. We have seen a local guy who was also killed in this attack, and his family members were also saying that he was along with the tourists who were visited Pahalgam. And right now the situation is very much grim in northern parts of Kashmir and as well as South Kashmir. We are outside the GMC hospital in Anantnag, where the Home Minister Amit Shah is also visiting the GMC where 3 injured personals and their health conditions. He is right now inside. Before a few minutes he has gone there with J&K LG Manoj Sinha.
Absolutely. Let me quickly, in fact, get in a word by Colonel Shailendra. Before I do that, we have some more breaking news coming in at this point of time. We have the names of 3 of the terrorists suspected to be involved in this heinous crime. The names are as follows: Terrorist 1, Asif Fauji; Terrorist 2, Suleiman Shah; and Terrorist 3, Abu Talha. So that's a big breaking development that we are tracking on the broadcast. The names of 3 of the terrorists suspected to be involved in the Pahalgam terror attack. Those are the names that we are getting, but this is of course information that's pouring in as per sources. Again, names coming in, names of 3 of the terrorists coming in as per sources: Asif Fauji, Suleiman Shah and Abu Talha. Let's quickly get in a word from Colonel Shailendra on the broadcast, waiting rather patiently with us. Of course, photos of the 4 terrorists have now come out. Some names also pouring in as per sources. What do you make of this action, swift action that's taking place?
We must understand one thing very clearly. When you take out a photograph, it is for wider publication to the people who are able to identify that if they have crossed through, or they are able to recognize whether in past they have crossed through their village or right now they have seen them somewhere or the other. So this kind of live intelligence makes a lot of sense for the security forces to narrow down as to where from they came and where are they headed. These are the 2 things as far as photographs are concerned. At the same time, it is very important that this kind of information is made available not only to the public but even to the roadblocks and other places, that one or terrorist may try to get away by mingling with the local population. But in this case, this is my own way of looking at it, that since they are Pakistanis, their way of talk, their way of behavior, their way of appearance is not exactly going to be like a Kashmiri. They are little different. The Kashmiris will have a narrower face as compared to the one who was seen in the photograph, has got a very bulky face, etc., etc. More important is that the security forces are working on it in a bigger way. I think that is a clear message. Now, as far as the action taken is concerned, allow me to bring it out again to you. We are not asking for any kind of war with Pakistan. We are only going to assist Pakistan, for which it has been always crying that it is also going through a terrorism. So my take on that is, if they are fed up, I understand international support is very important, but at the same time, I will not wait for it. Let Trump say whatever he wants to. He has to understand, if the terrorism is a terrorism in US, then the terrorism has to be defined as terrorism even in India. If terrorism for world is Hamas and Gaza, then they will have to understand that the terrorism of Pakistan is against India, and India has a right to defend not only itself, but even it is defending Pakistan by eliminating those camps. But help camps are the only one which is emanating terrorism in the world also. So let us not be very conservative on this, कि अगर वो country support करेगा तभी हम कुछ करेंगे. I don't think that is what Modi is all about. Modi is all about that yes, something has been done. It has to be explained back to Pakistan in a language which is understands, and that language is only one. You try mess with us, we will not mess with you. We will eliminate you, and we will only eliminate the terrorism part of you. We are not against the Pakistani population as such. We are not for a war, but we are war against terrorism. Whatever it may cost, wherever we have to reach, we will reach out and we will eliminate it.
Right, absolutely. Mr. Manan Dwivedi is also with us on the broadcast, and let's get a perspective in from him. Of course, we have the visuals of the terrorists who are involved in this attack, this terror attack. What do you make of the response at which all of this information is pouring out?
I personally feel that if we go back with an example, in the Mumbai terror attacks and related to that, the Sargana of the terror attack defined by Tanavur Rana, So the speed which you are talking about, ma'am, here, at that point of time, there was a live telecast for the Indian and the global nationals when the Taj Hotel and the Israeli house was attacked. So people like Tanavur Rana and other functionaries of the ISI and the deep state jihadi apparatus, they were directly utilizing the Indian media outpourings and giving instructions to their terror mongers in Taj Palace Hotel, which was, according to some of the observers at that point of time, inimical to the interests of Indian security agencies. I personally feel slowly as Pahalgam becomes a 1 day old, or the travesty becomes 2 days old, the entire nation is going to come to know about it. The entire nation already knows about it, but there needs to be an awareness about zero tolerance. That is, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi talks about this fact that we have a zero tolerance towards terrorism, especially towards cross-border terrorism, as global terrorism has not been able to infest India due to the deft handling of the Indian security and defense agencies. So the idea is that India needs to be very particular about it. And you know, as I told earlier, a Balakot or a Uri might not be enough. And as Jaishankar Saab, as I have been mentioning in my papers, in my books also, I'm also working on terrorism, that you know, Jaishankar Saab and the entire MEA apparatus has been very loudly and publicly interacting with the entire country, and they're saying that if something wrong happens to India, if a heinous and horrendous and an abominable act of terror once again surfaces, or even some planning of it comes to the air of the Indian intelligence agencies, then POK would be entered into by the Indian armed forces. That is, POK would be mutilated against, would be militated against. So I personally feel that no diplomacy can be carried on at this point of time with the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and it is high time that some more than a lesson, I use these words very trenchantly, more than a lesson needs to be taught to the Pakistan. As my earlier speakers told us about it, I'm not talking about a full-fledged war, because you know, war is a very gruesome exercise, but countries and personalities and national leaders have been forced to undertake many unpopular decisions, and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi might have to take one such decision where Pakistan has to be told, or I personally feel that the right solution would be to get complete control of POK, as has been the innervating policy and the paradigm dictum of India's foreign policy and MEA. That is how I would look at it.
Okay. Mr. RVS Mani has to make a point over here, so over to you.
I agree with my previous speaker, but the question is, yes, in 26/11 it happened that our media got access to the ops live, and Pakistani handlers watched it and conveyed the counter strategy, conveyed the information and directed the counter strategy through a satellite phone, Turiya satellite phones, who were to the terrorists inside the Taj Hotel. It happened because I was in the control room. I can make sure it happened. Having said that, what you are saying is right. There is, see, war is a war. Let us not be very apologetic about going to war if it necessitates. As Colonel Shailendra had said, it is our problem. It is a terrorism which has plagued our country. We don't have to be apologetic to even annihilation of Pakistan if required, because see, where all will you go? Because it is a myth that only POK has terror camps. Northern Territory has got it. Abbottabad, you have terror camps in Kahuta, and not only that, they shift it. From Kahuta, they will shift it to Faisalabad. From Faisalabad, they will bring it to Rawalkot on the southern side. From Rawalkot, that means your Jammu area, Chauta Pir Panjal becomes vulnerable. They will see, because certain utilities during the UPA government, like the Aman Ki Asha group, which started the Jodhpur Munnabhav route, that is a drug peddling route, but drug constitute 30% of the Pakistan's terror funding. So that also facilitates. So we, if at all, if need be, let us be not apologetic about it. If required, yes, we have to take a calibrated action. Notwithstanding that, if it really necessitates, annihilate popular, because where all will you be? It is, don't try to fix the punches at each place. You change the tube itself. That is the way we should, that should be the approach. Honorable Modi, Honorable Prime Minister has taken this type of a talk. I am sure he will do the needful on a very calibrated basis and take it forward to this. War has a cost. I am not in favor of any war, but if required, it is our problem. We will handle it, and we will handle it to the India's advantage. And let the local, because as Honorable the Chief of Defence Services had said before his demise that India was facing a 2.5 front, I would say 3.5 front, because the 1.5 front inside the country is actually 1.5. They are much stronger. There will be very Akhilesh Yadav or somebody else who will give a statement like this, or Rahul Gandhi asking for accountability. Don't bother about it, but if required, go sideline the ignore these Aman Ki Asha groups, annihilate Pakistan. A weak Pakistan is much better. A weak Bangladesh, even if they are not, they have not condemned it so far. Mr. Sood would say, so far the Muhammad Yunus has also not condemned it, because they are all in the know of things. They are all in unison with the Asim Muni's statement and the events which have unfolded after that. It's all a collaboration, unholy collaboration.
Right.
So let us be very clear about it. If required, we will annihilate Pakistan.
All right, absolutely. I'm going to quickly slip into a very short break, but after this break, we're going to be back with the exact same conversation. Stay tuned.
Hello, you're coming there, right?
Global leaders, entertainment's के sharp minds और innovators who are breaking boundaries. Music हो, cinema या live performances, past, present or future icons, सब यहीं मिल रहे हैं.
This isn't just about entertainment. The biggest deals, investments, collaborations, this is where they happen. The Prime Minister himself is sitting down with industry leaders, shaping global policies and partnerships.
Really, नए platforms, बड़े collaborations, a global audience. It's about breaking boundaries and taking creativity to places we never imagined.
Exactly. This is where ideas become reality.
The biggest stage, the sharpest minds, I'm definitely in.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर, या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें आईटीवी और इंडिया न्यूज़ का मीडिया स्कूल। आईटीवी नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। आईटीवी नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से आईटीवी नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। आईटीवी नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त, मजबूत, जिससे आप बनेंगे पत्रकारिता की दुनिया का वो चमकता चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।
घर के अंदर मॉब आकर टीवी को तोड़ा है, पूरा आगजनी किया गया था, पूरा घर में तोड़फोड़ मचाया गया है। मालदा का ये स्कूल का अंदर में ऐसा ही क्लासरूम अभी बन चुके हैं मुर्शिदाबाद का हिंदू परिवारों का घर।
4-5 हजार लोग आदमी आया था, मतलब 4-5 हजार तो नहीं पाएंगे हम लोग।
केंद्र सरकार से रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि आप मुर्शिदाबाद, मालदा ये सब डिस्ट्रिक्ट को केंद्र शासित अंचल बनाइए।
ये सब कम नहीं मिलेगा तो हमारा जितना बाल बच्चा है इधर सब तो मार जाता है, पेट्रोल डाल के आग लगा देता है और लूट कर लेता है।
Welcome back from the break. You're watching Newsx and I'm Asavri Jindal. Breaking news coming in at this point of time, where as per sources, a team of the National Investigation Agency has reached the Pahalgam terrorist attack site. The team will assist the Jammu and Kashmir police with the investigation. Developments are coming in at this point of time. My colleague is going to be joining us very shortly to give us an understanding on this. But for now, of course, NI teams have reached. They will be assisting the Jammu and Kashmir police. Javed Hussain on the telecast with me. Javed, take our viewers through the details, please.
और देखिए केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी एनआईए की जो टीम है वो पहलगाम पहुंच चुकी है। जिस तरीके से आतंकी हमले में 26 बेकसूर जो पर्यटक है जो कश्मीर घूमने गए थे पहलगाम में, जिस तरीके से आतंकी हमला हुआ उसके बाद उनकी मौत हुई है। बताया जा रहा है कि जो आतंकी थे, जो दहशतगर्द थे, वो सेना के यूनिफॉर्म में थे, जैसा कि जानकारी मिली। लेकिन अब जब एनआईए की जांच टीम वहां पहुंची है, जिसमें बता रहे हैं कि जानकारी के मुताबिक सूत्रों के हवाले से कि केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी की 15 से ज्यादा जो टीमें हैं वो पहलगाम पहुंच चुकी है। और सबसे पहले उन्होंने लोकल पुलिस से इस पूरे मामले में जानकारी ली। उसके बाद जो लोकल गैदरिंग होता है, जो वहां पर इंफॉर्मेशन होता है, उसको कलेक्ट किया गया है। उसके बाद इस पूरे मामले में जो टेक्निकल बेस और ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस बेस पर जो एनआईए अपनी जांच को शुरू कर दी। सबसे इसमें एनआईए जानने की कोशिश करी कि क्या जिस तरीके से वायरलेस सेट की जानकारी मिल रही कि वायरलेस सेट को इस्तेमाल किया गया था, तो उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी को लेकर, उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कितनी रही होगी, उसके फ्रीक्वेंसी का मूवमेंट क्या था, इसको लेकर पूरी जांच की जा रही है। वहां पर लोकल बेस पे इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट किया जा रहा है कि क्या किसी तरीके की कोई इनको शेल्टर दिया गया था, या पहले से जिस तरह से बात आ रही कि ये जो दहशतगर्द हैं, जो 6 लोगों की बात आ रही है, लेकिन अभी तक 4 लोगों का जो फोटो है वो सामने आया है। और ये टीआरएफ से द रेसिस्टेंस फ्रंट, जो कि लश्कर तैयबा का एक हिस्सा है, और जानकारी के मुताबिक पाकिस्तान की आईएसआई यानी कि खुफिया एजेंसी का एक डमी है जो इसको एस्टैब्लिश किया गया है कश्मीर में इस तरह के दहशतगर्द को अंजाम देने के लिए। एनआईए की टीम अब उस तमाम पहलगाम के उस जगह जो जहां पर ये पूरा एक जो आतंकी हमला हुआ जिसमें 26 लोग मारे गए हैं, इसमें वहां पर के तमाम जो टेक्निकल बेस के हिसाब से जो वायरलेस सेट का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है कि आतंकियों के पास बाकायदा वायरलेस सेट था, उससे लगातार वॉकी टॉकी जिससे कि बातचीत हो रही थी। अब उस फ्रीक्वेंसी को जानने के साथ एक पूरे रूट को तैयार किया जा रहा है कि आखिर इनका रूट क्या था और किस तरीके से ये एंट्री हुए और इसके बाद एग्जिट हुए, क्योंकि कई चश्मदीद हैं जिन्होंने बताया कि ये जो दहशतगर्द थे जो वहां पर पहुंचे, उसके बाद उन्होंने वहां पर लगातार गोलियां चलानी शुरू कर दी, जिसमें AK-47 का भी जिक्र है कि AK-47 से ये आतंकी वहां पर आतंकी हमले को इन्होंने अंजाम दिया था। ये कुछ दिन पहले से इन्होंने रैकी किया था, अप्रैल के महीने में ये रैकी कर रहे थे, और टीआरएफ ने जिस तरीके से इसको जिम्मेदारी ली है और इस पूरे आतंकी हमले में 2 विदेशी मुल्क के जो नागरिक है उनकी भी मौत बताई गई है। और वहीं दूसरी तरफ अब सरकार पूरी तरीके से एक्शन मोड में आ गई है। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी जिम्मेदारी देश की केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी एनआईए की है। एनआईए की टेरर जो टीम है वो भी साथ में मौजूद है, और अब ये जानने की कोशिश की जा रही है कि आखिर जो टीआरएफ के जो आतंकी जिन्होंने इस पूरे आतंकी हमले को अंजाम दिया, इसमें से जो 2 आतंकी हैं वो लोकल बताए जा रहे हैं और 2 पाकिस्तानी मुल्क के। तो इनकी एंट्री कैसे हुई, यहां पर कैसे ये रुके, किस तरीके का इनका रूट था, जो एक पूरा इक्विपमेंट था, क्या इसके पीछे जिस तरीके से आईएसआई का अब हाथ सामने आ रहा है, लश्कर तैयबा का कनेक्शन है, क्योंकि लश्कर तैयबा का ही एक पार्ट ये एक भी कह सकते हैं कि एक डमी ये यहां पर एक टेरर ग्रुप है टीआरएफ, जो पिछले साल 2019 से कहीं ना कहीं एक्टिव हुआ है, जब आर्टिकल 370 को हटाया गया था। उसके बाद यहां पर जिस तरीके से टीआरएफ जो है एक तरह से अपने आप को पूरी तरह से एक्टिव कर चुका है, इसके जो टेरर के जो इसके मेंबर्स हैं वो आमतौर पर पूरी तरीके से लोकल दिखते हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं जो इनकी भाषा होती है ये पूरी तरीके से कश्मीरी होते हैं। इसमें जो पाकिस्तान के भी जो लोग इसमें शामिल हैं, और टीआरएफ को इस्टेब्लिश किया गया था साल 2023 में, इसको यूएपीए के तहत बैन किया गया था भारत सरकार की तरफ से। लेकिन जहां एक तरफ एनआईए अब पहलगाम में पूरी तरीके से इस जांच में जुट गई है, तमाम एविडेंस, तमाम चश्मदीदों के साथ, इसके रूट मैप को लेकर, इसके एग्जिट पॉइंट को लेकर, इसके पूरे सीक्वेंस को लेकर, टेक्निकली सर्विलांस में किस तरह से वायरलेस सेट का इस्तेमाल किया, इसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या थी, किस तरीके से इस पूरे मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया गया, और जो लोग हैं जो आतंकी वो किस रूट से भागे हैं, उनकी एग्जिट कैसे हुआ। क्योंकि जो पहलगाम का जो पूरा एक जगह है ये आमतौर पर कश्मीर के सबसे खूबसूरत जगहों में से एक है, क्योंकि पूरा खाली मैदान रहता है, इसके पीछे एक घना जंगल है जहां से ये जो दहशतगर्द हैं ये दाखिल हुए थे। अब ये 6 लोगों में से क्या इन लोगों ने जिस तरह से पूरी रैकी करने के बाद इसको उस टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया, तो अब सबसे बड़ी बात है कि इसके पीछे का मैसेज क्या है। मतलब इस 26 बेकसूर लोगों की जो को मौत के घाट उतारा गया इस पूरे टेरर मॉड्यूल में, तो आखिर इसके पीछे का मकसद क्या था, आखिर क्या मैसेज देना चाहता है टीआरएफ। क्योंकि जानकारी के मुताबिक टीआरएफ ने इसकी जिम्मेदारी ली है और जिस तरीके से द रेसिस्टेंस फ्रंट जो अपने आप को एस्टैब्लिश करना चाह रहा है और कहीं ना कहीं इसे आईएसआई पूरी तरीके से बैकअप कर रहा है और लश्कर तौयबा का ये एक पूरा आतंकी संगठन है जिसने अपने आप को कश्मीर में एस्टैब्लिश कर लिया। अभी हाल ही के दिनों में अगर हम साल 2022 और 24 की बात करें तो टीआरएफ ने कई आतंकी जो छोटे हमले हैं उन्होंने किया था और हाल ही में पिछले साल जिस तरीके से सेना के गाड़ियों को निशाना बनाया गया था उसमें भी टीआरएफ का नाम सामने आया था। अब जो है कि आईजी रैंक के अधिकारी जानकारी के मुताबिक एनआईए को लीड कर रहे हैं। इसमें 2 एसपी हो सकते हैं, 2 एसपी हैं जानकारी के मुताबिक, एडिशनल एसपी हैं, इसके बाद इंस्पेक्टर रैंक के अधिकारी हैं और बाकी एनआईए की जो लोकल लोअर स्टाफ है वो इस पूरे टीम में शामिल है। अब एनआईए अपने टेरर एंगल से लेकर अपने जो टेक्निकली बेस पर तमाम पहलगाम के हर एक एंगल को जांच कर रही है और टीमें जो है अलग अलग जो मोटिव है उस पूरे मोटिव को लेकर जानना चाह रही है। लोकल पुलिस से एस्टैब्लिश किया गया पूरे बेस इन्वेस्टिगेशन को, पूरे इंफॉर्मेशन को, जिससे लेकर एनआईए अब हर एक एंगल को लेकर जांच में जुट गई क्योंकि इनकी तस्वीरें सामने आ चुकी है। टीआरएफ ने इसकी जिम्मेदारी ले ली है। अब जो एनआईए का एक मेन बेस है कि आखिर ये जो फ्रीक्वेंसी जिस फ्रीक्वेंसी पे ये लगातार वायरलेस स्टेट पर बात कर रहे थे आखिर कौन सी फ्रीक्वेंसी थी और इसको ऑपरेट कैसे किया जाता, क्योंकि जानकारी के मुताबिक कहीं ना कहीं जो एक पूरा पैटर्न है वो 26 से 11 के पैटर्न की तरह है और जानकारी के मुताबिक जिस तरीके से 26 से 11 हमला हुआ था साल 2008 में नवंबर में, उस वक्त भी तमाम जो आतंकी थे 10 आतंकी थे, उनके पास पूरी तरीके से वॉकी टॉकी था और उनके पास पूरा जीपीएस सिस्टम था और पूरी तरीके से उनको रूट मैप तैयार किया गया था और इसके लिए रैकी भी की गई थी जिसमें ताउर राणा और बाकी लोगों का जो डेविड कॉलमैन हेडली का नाम आया था। ठीक उसी तरीके से ये जिस तरीके से कल मंगलवार के दिन जो आतंकी हमला हुआ पहलगाम में उसमें भी पूरी तरीके से कहीं ना कहीं ये माना जा रहा है, जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आ रही है कि इनके पास पहले से इन्होंने रैकी कर रखा था और इनके पास पूरी तरीके से कहीं ना कहीं रूट की पूरी तरीके से मैप तैयार था और इनको पता था कि इन्हें कहां पर आतंकी इस पूरे मॉड्यूल को अंजाम देना है, क्योंकि इसके पीछे का जो मकसद है अब ये जानना जरूरी कि आखिर टीआरएफ ने अगर इसकी जिम्मेदारी ली है तो उन्होंने आखिर क्यों 26 जो बेकसूर लोग थे जो भारत के अलग अलग कोने से आमतौर पर कश्मीर में घूमने आते हैं उनको क्यों निशाना बनाया गया, उनको टारगेट क्यों किया गया, क्या इसके पीछे कोई एक बड़ी और साजिश की जो एक कहीं ना कहीं कोई ऐसा अंदेशा जताया जा रहा है। क्योंकि हाल ही के दिनों में जिस तरीके से देश का साउथ इंडिया की बात करें या नॉर्थ इंडिया की बात करें या वेस्ट इंडिया की बात करें, जिस तरीके से लगातार छोटे बड़े जो आतंकी संगठन है वो कहीं ना कहीं अपने आप को एक बार फिर से एस्टैब्लिश करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और कहीं ना कहीं टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और लगातार सेंट्रल एजेंसी इस पर नजर बनाई और इस मॉड्यूल को भी उन्होंने पर्दाफाश किया है। अभी पिछले साल ही जिस तरीके से पाकिस्तान में के जो तमाम आतंकी संगठन है, लश्कर तौबा की बात करें, जैसे मोहम्मद की बात करें या इनकी दूसरे आतंकी संगठन की बात करें, इन्होंने एक कैबिनेट मीटिंग बुलाई थी जो और टॉप सोर्सेज के हवाले से खबर है। इस कैबिनेट मीटिंग में आईएसआई के कुछ अधिकारी भी शामिल हुए थे जिसमें यह तय किया गया था कि कैसे भारत में एक बार फिर से टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया जाए। तो कहीं ना कहीं उसका एक हिस्सा हो सकता है क्योंकि ये कैबिनेट मीटिंग जिसका नाम कैबिनेट मीटिंग दी गई थी और ये बाकायदा पाकिस्तान में ना होकर गल्फ कंट्री में किसी गल्फ कंट्री में पूरे कैबिनेट मीटिंग को एस्टैब्लिश किया गया था जहां पर तमाम आतंकियों को रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले आतंकी बाकायदा शामिल हुए थे। उसमें आईएसआई के कुछ अधिकारी भी शामिल हुए थे और उस कैबिनेट मीटिंग, उसका जो नाम है उसको कैबिनेट मीटिंग इसलिए दिया गया था कि भारत को लेकर यह स्ट्रैटेजी तैयार किया गया था कि आखिर भारत में अब कश्मीर के अलावा दूसरे स्टेट्स में कैसे टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया जाए। तो कहीं ना कहीं यह माना जा रहा है कि इसकी एक प्लानिंग पहले से तय की गई थी जिसमें 26 बेकसूर लोगों की जान गई है। हालांकि एनआईए सुबह से ही इस पूरे पहलगाम को लेकर अपनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन को उन्होंने तेज कर दिया है और हर एक एंगल को लेकर जांच की जा रही है। जी
Right, absolutely. Javed, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sharing all those details, exhaustive details with us. But again, our guests are with us on the broadcast and let's take this conversation forward with them. Mr. N.K. Sood, I have a question for you. You know, we say, Hindi mein we say, tali do haath se bachti hai. There may have perhaps been locals on the ground who were helping these terrorists. What to do with those people?
Actually, you see, the terrorists who come from Pakistan, they need local help. And you see, some of the people in the Kashmir still they play for money, they do their job for money, or they are brainwashed. If you see the teachings in madrasas, I was listening to a Pakistani. He said, when I went to madrasa, they used to teach us different things. Hate Hindus, hate India, and all these things. They were put in our mind. So these things are put in the minds of these people. Some of the locals are there, but they don't realize what they are doing. Killing Hindus is one aspect. You leave that. But whom they are targeting? They are targeting Kashmiris. They are targeting Kashmiris who are getting their jobs, they are getting their money, who are feeding their families through this tourist. Pakistan had problem with India because tourism was flourishing in Kashmir, and Kashmir was flourishing. And Kashmiri who were taking rupees 500 from Pakistan ISA to throw stones at Indian army people, they stopped doing that because they got money, they got jobs. In Kashmir, hundreds of tunnels are being built, hundreds of bridges have been built, roads are being developed. Per year, 40,000 crore rupees they are spent on Kashmir by the central government to build roads, etc. All these things, development is being done, electricity is being provided, and they started hating Pakistan. Started avoiding Pakistan. So Pakistan was upset. So by this attack, Pakistan has targeted mainly the Kashmiris. And second thing that Pakistan did was they targeted India. They wanted to project that Kashmir is not a safe place. And third thing that Pakistan did, they wanted to tell the Pakistanis that Kashmir is a disturbed place and we are better off. So this kind of message Pakistan wanted to give, and especially the statement of Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir about Hindus. It was a very destructive statement. It was a statement which he gave out of frustration. But all these statements and whatever Pakistan is doing is going to give Pakistan a bad blood. Pakistan will suffer. Pakistan will have to suffer. I tell you that Pakistan had been doing certain in Kashmir. On the other hand, Pakistan ISIS is very active in Bangladesh. Recently, a high-level team of Bangladeshi army officers, they had gone to Spain. On the other hand, the Pakistani ISI team, they also reached Spain. And Turkish, I think MIT is their intelligence, they were also there. And there was plan to carry out terrorist activities into India from Bangladesh. So they want to spread their network to India's northeastern states.
Absolutely. We have some breaking news coming in at this point of time. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's program has been cancelled in view of the Pahalgam terror attack. He was set to come to Kanpur to inaugurate a metro, but that plan has now been cancelled in light of the terror attack that's taken place in Pahalgam. My colleague Rakesh Kumar Singh joins us on the broadcast to give us more on this. Rakesh, what more can you tell us? Okay, we're getting that connection sorted with my colleague Rakesh. But for now, those are the developments that are taking place. Remember, the Prime Minister came back from Saudi Arabia, and now we're also getting to know that his program to visit Kanpur has now been cancelled. He was slated to inaugurate a metro, but that's not happening now. It has been cancelled in light of the terror attack that's taken place in Pahalgam. So details that are coming in at this point of time. The Prime Minister's visit to Kanpur has now been cancelled is what we are given to understand. My colleague is going to be joining us very shortly to give us an update and details on that front. But for now, those are the details that we are tracking for you on the broadcast. Okay, all right. Let's quickly hop across to Mr. N.K. Sood, who is, of course, talking. So over to you.
Yes, I was talking about this Pakistan spreading its wings, into Bangladesh, and now actually certain problems. Okay, actually there certain problems are there. I think our government in certain matters is very slow in acting. They are not taking big action against Bangladesh, and they are waiting that from Bangladesh something big should happen. Bangladesh, you see small countries these days, whether it's Bangladesh or Maldives, they have been treating India like ordinary country, Although they are dependent on India, but still they are targeting India. They are trying to target India's northeastern states. China is of course active over there. They have an open ground, They are getting open ground in Bangladesh to target India's northeastern states. But the most sensitive place where India is impacted, that is India's northeast. You see, for years, there was militancy in northeast. Militancy today is under control in northeast. But again, after the change of government in Bangladesh, there is likelihood that this militancy will return to Bangladesh from Bangladesh territory, and India has to be cautious about that. India should take some preemptive actions, instead of waiting for certain things, And I of course appreciate the problems that our army, our security forces, and our intelligence agencies that face, because we have a long border with Pakistan, 3,323 kilometer long border with Pakistan, which is disturbed. We have a huge border with China, more than 3,500 kilometers.
Right.
That is disturbed. Then with Bangladesh, 4,097 kilometers. Then again with Myanmar, where already the disturbances are going on. So it's a big challenge for our agencies, big challenge for our security forces, big challenge for our intelligence agencies.
Absolutely, of course. The information flashing on your screens, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's program has been cancelled in view of the Pahalgam incident, the terror attack. He was set to come to Kanpur to inaugurate a metro. Nikita Sareen on the telecast with me. Nikita, what more can you tell us?
Well, absolutely. In view of Pahalgam terrorist attack, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Kanpur visit has been cancelled. And in fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's public meeting was scheduled to be held in Kanpur on 24th of this month, and Prime Minister was to lay the foundation stone and inaugurate a total of 11 important projects during the newly built metro station, and the party organization officials was engaged in a special preparation to make Prime Minister Modi's Kanpur visit a big success. But due to yesterday's attack, this whole program has been cancelled. And before this, if we talk about Bharatiya Janata Party workers, they are also inviting people by visiting mandals and also the markets and houses of all assembly constituencies for Modi visits. And Kanpur, if we talk about, Lord President Anil Dixit has also assigned area-wise responsibility to district officials. But now everything has been cancelled in view of Pahalgam terrorist attack. And as of now, if we talk about the total number of deaths has been officially, that statement came is 28 as of now, and different opinions from opposition has also been coming. And if we talk about Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav, he is also blaming Bharatiya Janata Party behind all this. But as of now, 28 people have been killed, and this is the official statement that has been made. Meanwhile, Prime Minister's Narendra Modi visit on Kanpur on 24th of this month has been cancelled now. Over to you.
Absolutely, Nikta. More breaking news coming in at this point of time, where security forces continue to question several people from South Kashmir after the terror attack in Pahalgam, Anantnag. People from Pahalgam and the area of the attack in Kintalash, who are aides of terrorists, have been detained for questioning. Big developments that are coming in at this point of time. So again, we are tracking developments closely from Jammu and Kashmir, and of course that's the big breaking that we are talking about. Ashik is on the telecast with me. Ashik, what more details do we have?
Well, absolutely. The security has been beefed up in Jammu Kashmir after the terror attack took place in Pahalgam, to the spot in which 28 people were killed who were going there to enjoy the meadows of Pahalgam, to the spot. Soon after the attack, Home Minister Amit Shah reaches the Srinagar Raj Bhavan, and he has reviewed the security meetings with the officials. Right now, in the early morning, we have witnessed an encounter in which 2 terrorists were killed in the police sector of the LOC, and still the first operation in Pahalgam is underway, where the security forces are searching for those terrorists who were involved in this heinous terror attack which took place yesterday in the afternoon.
Absolutely, Ashik, stay on with us. More breaking news coming in where we are getting to know that the attack site was recce by local terrorists. Terrorists have come to this area many times before the attack. Terrorists came to this area with the help of locals on the ground who have been working. So, of course, news that coming in at this point of time. Ashik, what more can you tell us on that front?
Has reached the spot where this attack was placed, and we have gathered a lot more information about the terrorists who were involved in this attack. And we access the needs of terrorists. We are just showing the world that these are the terrorists who were involved in this heinous terror act, and these terrorists are likely to be associated with the Lashkar-e-Toiba terror outfit. Among these terrorists, some terrorists are local who have joined the terror outfit 2 years ago, and they have committed many terror incidents in all over the Kashmir. Right now, the search is underway, and the Indian Army commandos and the helicopter drone surveillance is monitoring the situation. And Home Minister himself has visited the spot where this attack took place, and high alert has been sounded in all over the Jammu and Kashmir.
Absolutely, Ashik, stay on with us. We have more breaking news coming in where help desks have been opened at Jammu Tawi and Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Katra station. Those visuals are right here on our screens. I'm going to request my PCR to pan on what I have over here, which is going to show you the help desk that has now been put at the Jammu Tawi and of course close to the Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Katra station as well. That's of course the visual that we are tracking for you. Ashik on the telecast with me. Ashik, help desks also now been put. We of course had the Anantnag police roll out numbers. I'm going to request my crew to put out those numbers as well. What more can you tell us?
Well, absolutely. We are witnessing since yesterday all those tourist spots in Pahalgam are right now empty, and the tourists are fleeing to their homes. In the morning, we have witnessed a huge rush outside the airport in Srinagar. Those terrorists are telling their stories how horrible this attack was, which has took their loved ones' lives. And right now, we are at the ground where still the force telling them that India will fight back and they will give a gifting reply. Their forces will give a gifting reply, and that has we witnessed in morning when 2 Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists were killed in Uri LOC. Those terrorists were trying to infiltrate from the North Kashmir side. The attack in 28 people were killed. That was in South Kashmir. The terrorists are continuously planning from Pakistan how to disturb peace situation that was prevailing after 2019.
Absolutely. All right. Ashik, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sharing all those details. I'm going to take quick closing comments from all our guests who've been with us and there rather patiently. Mr. Manant Vedi, let me start with you. Your closing comments, sir.
Very concerned and a disparaged citizen of the country. This bloodbath which is infested to the Indian territory, Indian nation, has to end somewhere. So I think preemption, as the Americans do it very effectively, as the Israelis do it very effectively, that preemption should become the order of the day as far as India's counter-terror policy is concerned, and something bigger than Uri and Balakot can be a very appropriate riposte to what our nation does to Pakistan. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Mr. RVS Mani, your closing comments, sir?
My friend previous speaker has talked about preemption. Actually, the public does not know the number of attacks our intelligence driven agencies have prevented, or that is never reported, that is never a news. Prevention do happen very regularly. I can say for it, in fact, I have submitted affidavits in the high courts saying about how efficient our several attacks possibly could have been prevented by our security and intelligence forces, the law enforcement agencies, all of them. Yes, 1 or 2 misses, they get hyped, and thereafter our politicians start taking advantage of that. First thing is, whenever such mishap does happen, if it has been it has missed the radar of the security agencies or the intelligence agencies, and it has somehow happened by misfortune, the government, the country should be one behind the Prime Minister, and that should be the dictum, not trying to score points as somebody saying something or somebody is asking for accountability. The accountability is there in front of you. They have saved 1,000 terrorist attacks. They have prevented. One of them happened, and I think at that time we should stand behind the Prime Minister. That is what is my take on this.
That absolutely. Mr. Sood, 30 seconds to you, please.
I think the first job is to neutralize the terrorists. The second job is to destroy the base, destroy Pakistan, break Pakistan. And third thing is that people who question India's integrity, who ask for accountability, first they should give their accountability. Why they go abroad? Why they go abroad and make unhealthy statements against India? They should be made accountable. They should tell the world what is their role in corruption, what is their role, why they go abroad and seek support of the foreign countries to destroy India. I am especially pointing out to Rahul Gandhi. I have a lot of questions for Akhilesh Yadav also, but let me put that for the next time.
Right, sir.
Look into look what you are, look what your father did and what you are doing.
All right, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us on the broadcast, taking forward this conversation. On that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Thank you so much for watching Newsx.
Hello. You're coming there, right?
Global leaders, entertainments के sharp minds और innovators who are breaking boundaries. Music हो, cinema या live performances, past, present or future icons, सब यहीं मिल रहे हैं.
This isn't just about entertainment. The biggest deals, investments, collaborations, this is where they happen. The Prime Minister himself is sitting down with industry leaders, shaping global policies and partnerships.
Really, नए platforms, बड़े collaborations, a global audience, it's about breaking boundaries and taking creativity to places we never imagined.
Exactly. This is where ideas become reality.
The biggest stage, the sharpest minds, I'm definitely in.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV और इंडिया न्यूज़ का मीडिया स्कूल। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से ITV नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त, मजबूत, जिससे आप बनेंगे पत्रकारिता की दुनिया का वो चमकता चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।
घर के अंदर मॉब आकर टीवी को तोड़ा है, पूरा आगजनी किया गया था, पूरा घर में तोड़फोड़ मचाया गया है। मालदा का ये स्कूल का अंदर में ऐसा ही क्लासरूम अभी बन चुके हैं मुर्शिदाबाद का हिंदू परिवारों का घर।
4-5 हजार लोग आदमी आया था, मतलब 4-5 हजार तो नहीं पाएंगे हम लोग।
केंद्र सरकार के रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि आप मुर्शिदाबाद, मालदा ये सब डिस्ट्रिक्ट को केंद्र शासित अंचल बनाइए।
ये सब कम नहीं मिलेगा तो हमारा जितना बाल बच्चा है इधर सब तो मार जाता है, पेट्रोल डाल के आग लगा देता है और लूट कर लेता है।
major incident has happened and taken place at Pahalgam in Kashmir, and we are also reporting from Kashmir. We are at the PCR, where unfortunately 26 people unfortunately lost their lives and 17 have been injured. We are outside the PCR where the mortal remains of the deceased were taken, and just a while back, just few minutes back, the Chief Minister Omar Abdullah reached. The DG also reached. You can see the security deployment, the securities that have been beefed up in and near Kashmir. The entire securities have been completely beefed up at this very place. This is the PCR also. These places have been barricaded. You can see CRPF, you can see forces, all have been barricaded itself because all the diseased bodies have been brought here. The families are inside. They've blocked the entire media entrance. You can see ahead also the deployment of troops are here. They have made a proper human barricade ahead also. That is the very entrance that they have barricaded. Only media persons with cards, with media cards are allowed to enter, and proper security is being maintained here. Every other things have been checked here itself, and also very importantly, just a while back, the DG, the Chief Minister has also reached, and now Home Minister is also being anticipated to reach at this very place. Apart from that also, the security becomes very important itself, which has heightened not only at this very place but in and near Kashmir as well. Also another fact, the flights, if you talk about the flights itself, Air India, Indigo, they have also increased the special flights and dedicated a special flights for the families also, for the tourists also who will be flying from Delhi to Srinagar. So all these steps have been taken by the authorities, by all the authorities that making sure. Now again, before we wrap up, I'll again like to show you one last visuals also for you, for the viewers also watching us on live, to get a perspective, to get an understanding of the ground situation, what is here. No one knew that something like this would happen yesterday when the tourists were there. They're having their own gala time. They were there to have a good time, and suddenly firing started, and unfortunately 26 people, including 7 who are injured. Yes, it is a grave situation. Yes, it is a dire situation that is even happening, and even very importantly, the Prime Minister himself has stopped his meeting. He complained for India, and this is the first time in 11 years that has happened where a Prime Minister had to cut short a meeting, or cut short a tour also that he was happening, that he was taking in Saudi. He went there and he again came back to India. He flew back to Delhi. He took cognizance of the situation from the HM. The HM came here yesterday itself. He was taking high-level meetings, high-level discussions were taking place, and now the HM will be reaching here. He will be coming here. He will be visiting Pahalgam. He will also be visiting the Anantnag hospital as well to take a stock of the situation and to take cognizance of the situation. This is me, Brian Thomas, signing off with camera person Ankush for Newsx Kashmir.
You're watching Newsx and I'm Savri Jindal. The Pahalgam terror attack is easily the most heinous terror attack Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed since the Pulwama terror attack. The official confirmation right now is that 26 people have been killed while dozens have been injured. The attack happened at around 2:30 p.m. when 4 terrorists wearing masks opened fire on a group of terrorists. The terrorists fired incessantly at the tourists, which caused major panic with people running in all directions. Home Minister Amit Shah has interacted with victims' kin. Security has been heightened after 2 terrorists neutralized in Baramulla. In fact, joining us at this point of time is a very special guest. We're being joined by Ambassador Harshvardhan Shringla, former Foreign Secretary. So thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us on Newsx. Unfortunately, this discussion and conversation is happening at a very upsetting time, sir. What do you make of this terror attack that has taken place, the magnitude of course, the terrorism? 26 innocent lives have been claimed.
No, you're very right in saying that this is the most heinous terrorist attack we have witnessed in Jammu and Kashmir since Pulwama in 2019. And I think in many senses it is in response to the success of policies that have brought Jammu and Kashmir and the people of Jammu and Kashmir into the mainstream of our country. Abrogation of Article 370 has resulted in great amount of benefits for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. I recall that when we held our G20 meeting in 2023, exactly 2 years ago, in Srinagar, it was a game changer. I mean, I think the people of the Union Territory realized that with so many foreign delegates coming from all over the world into Srinagar, there was a very, very strong dividend, for peace and security. Visited Jammu and Kashmir in 2023. The figures must be higher now, and everybody in that Union Territory became a stakeholder in ensuring peace that would give them the sort of dividend and benefits that it would bring in terms of tourist revenues and the percolation down to all sections of society. And government also initiated a lot of measures, development and other measures that reached grassroots levels that had never been done. Since then, we had elections. You have an elected government in Jammu and Kashmir. And I think all of this is making our friends across the border very uneasy. The comments of Pakistan Chief of Army Staff, Asim Munir, the other day saying that Kashmir is our juggler, I think is a matter of concern and should be examined very carefully. But in any case, I mean, what is very evident is that there is no support for a resumption of terrorism in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. There's no traction for it among the people. This is clearly, state-sponsored terrorism, cross-border terrorism, and we have to get down to the bottom of what this is. So who are the perpetrators? Who are the sponsors? How has it happened? And we should have to take swift, decisive action. We should not hesitate to take lethal measures where necessary to eliminate terrorists. And if Pakistan's link is corroborated, then we should work to diplomatically isolate Pakistan for its continued support for terrorism after all of these years. I think it has come back into becoming again an epicenter of terrorism and supporting terrorism in other countries, particularly in India.
Right, absolutely, sir. I'd also like to understand from you, in your assessment, do you think this terror attack was planned according to the Prime Minister's visit to Saudi Arabia, the fact that US Vice President J.D. Vance was in India, and also considering the fact that we have the Amarnath Yatra that is scheduled to kickstart in July of this year? Do you think that this attack was to create a fear amongst people, considering the fact that Jammu and Kashmir has had a big major footfall of people coming in, tourism had been boosting?
Absolutely. I, for one, do not believe in coincidences. In 2020, when US President Donald Trump was visiting India, there was a sort of outburst of communal violence and attention away. This was designed to force attention away from the importance of the visit and the importance of the talks between the two leaders. Similarly, when Vice President J.D. Vance is visiting India, you have a similar incident, but a terrorist incident this time, very, very carefully orchestrated, also to coincide with Prime Minister Modi's visit to Saudi Arabia. As you say, this is a very important visit because Saudi Arabia has become a strategic partner. It has shifted from having a close relationship with Pakistan, a security relationship with Pakistan, and some level of ambiguity with India, to making India one of its major strategic partners. An initiative, I think, that has all credit for which has to be given to Prime Minister Modi. He is the only Prime Minister to visit Saudi Arabia 3 times. He has reached out. The Saudis under His Highness Mohammed bin Sultan have reciprocated his gestures, and today it's a wonderful, very, very positive relationship that goes beyond security into the economy, investments, technology, etc. So I think this is designed to derail all of this. This is designed to attract attention to what they want to portray as a domestic issue of terrorism within the country, domestic violence, etc. And I think this design will not succeed, as it has not succeeded in the past, simply because everybody is aware of the machinations that go behind all of these actions.
Right, absolutely, sir. When we were looking at Jammu and Kashmir, the word synonymous was Badalta Jammu and Kashmir. stone pelting had gone down to zero. You had an election that took place where there was no violence reported. There was a record of 50% voter turnout that we saw. There have been multiple educational institutions and medical colleges that have been established in the recent past. Who has a problem with that, and what should we do with those elements?
No, absolutely. As I said, the people of Jammu and Kashmir have become stakeholders in the peace process. They have become beneficiaries. I think it's important to isolate, those elements, the few elements who are supportive of the cross-border terrorism, the overground elements that have provided some arms and support to these terrorists who are operating in the Pahalgam area in Anantnag district. And I think it's very important, again, to very carefully investigate quickly so that the links between, these terrorist attacks and its supporters and sponsors become very, very evident as soon as possible.
Right, so absolutely. My last question to you, as a citizen of this country, what are your hopes and expectations?
Well, as I said, I think the entire country and people of the country are united in condemning this very, very heinous attack against our citizens on the basis of religion. There is absolutely no basis of this in our secular society. And I think the whole idea is to divide our society, is to ensure that there are gaps within our secular framework. And at the same time, I think call into question the success of the abrogation of Article 370. And as I said, Jammu and Kashmir being drawn into the mainstream of our country. I think the expectation would be that the government, as I said, would take swift and decisive action against the terrorists and their sponsors, should not hesitate to use lethal means if necessary. And as we find that there are links between the terrorists and its sponsors, especially Pakistan, we should work to diplomatically isolate Pakistan. I may add that we've got strong support from our partners across the world, including the United States. President Trump has come out very strongly. If you recall, in 2019, I was in the United States when President Trump, after the Pulwama attacks, said that India had the right to self-defense. It's a very, very important statement. And this time again, he has said, "I'm with Prime Minister Modi. We are with India in the face of these incidents." Russia, President Putin has come out. We've got support from across the world. We need to use that diplomatic, support that we're receiving at this moment to ensure that we move quickly. We find the evidence. We provide rock solid evidence to nail Pakistan, for its actions on this cross-border episode, and take whatever steps are necessary to bring them to book.
Absolutely, sir. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on Newsx, taking out time and sharing your perspectives on this very, very crucial development that has taken place.
Hello. You're coming there, right?
Global leaders, entertainments के sharp minds और innovators who are breaking boundaries. Music हो, cinema या live performances, past, present or future icons, सब यहीं मिल रहे हैं.
This isn't just about entertainment. The biggest deals, investments, collaborations, this is where they happen. The Prime Minister himself is sitting down with industry leaders, shaping global policies and partnerships.
Really, नए platforms, बड़े collaborations, a global audience. It's about breaking boundaries and taking creativity to places we never imagined.
Exactly. This is where ideas become reality.
The biggest stage, the sharpest minds, I'm definitely in.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV और इंडिया न्यूज़ का मीडिया स्कूल। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से ITV नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त, मजबूत जिससे आप बनेंगे पत्रकारिता की दुनिया का वो चमकता चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।
Welcome back from the break. You're watching Newsx and I'm Savri Jindal. Breaking news coming in at this point of time, where as per sources, a team of the National Investigation Agency has reached the Pahalgam terrorist attack site. The team will assist the Jammu and Kashmir police with the investigation. Developments are coming in at this point of time. My colleague is going to be joining us very shortly to give us an understanding on this. But for now, of course, NI teams have reached. They will be assisting the Jammu and Kashmir police. Javed Hussain on the telecast with me. Javed, take our viewers through the details, please.
और देखिए केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी एनआईए की जो टीम है वो पहलगाम पहुंच चुकी है। जिस तरीके से आतंकी हमले में 26 बेकसूर जो पर्यटक है जो कश्मीर घूमने गए थे पहलगाम में, जिस तरीके से आतंकी हमला हुआ उसके बाद उनकी मौत हुई है। बताया जा रहा है कि जो आतंकी थे, जो दहशतगर्द थे, वो सेना के यूनिफॉर्म में थे, जैसा कि जानकारी मिली। लेकिन अब जब एनआईए की जांच टीम वहां पहुंची है, जिसमें बता रहे हैं कि जानकारी के मुताबिक सूत्रों के हवाले से कि केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी की 15 से ज्यादा जो टीमें हैं वो पहलगाम पहुंच चुकी है। और सबसे पहले उन्होंने लोकल पुलिस से इस पूरे मामले में जानकारी ली। उसके बाद जो लोकल गैदरिंग होता है, जो वहां पर इंफॉर्मेशन होता है, उसको कलेक्ट किया गया है। उसके बाद इस पूरे मामले में जो टेक्निकल बेस और ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस बेस पर जो एनआईए अपनी जांच को शुरू कर दी। सबसे इसमें एनआईए ये जानने की कोशिश करी कि क्या जिस तरीके से वायरलेस सेट की जानकारी मिली कि वायरलेस सेट को इस्तेमाल किया गया था, तो उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी को लेकर, उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कितनी रही होगी, उसके फ्रीक्वेंसी का मूवमेंट क्या था, इसको लेकर पूरी जांच की जा रही है। वहां पर लोकल बेस पे इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट किया जा रहा है कि क्या किसी तरीके की कोई इनको शेल्टर दिया गया था, या पहले से जिस तरह से बात आ रही कि ये जो दहशतगर्द हैं, जो 6 लोगों की बात आ रही है, लेकिन अभी तक 4 लोगों का जो फोटो है वो सामने आया है। और ये टीआरएफ से द रेसिस्टेंस फ्रंट, जो कि लश्कर तैयबा का एक हिस्सा है, और जानकारी के मुताबिक पाकिस्तान की आईएसआई यानी कि खुफिया एजेंसी का एक डमी है, जो इसको एस्टैब्लिश किया गया है कश्मीर में इस तरह के दहशतगर्द को अंजाम देने के लिए। एनआईए की टीम अब उस तमाम पहलगाम के उस जगह जो जहां पर ये पूरा एक जो आतंकी हमला हुआ जिसमें 26 लोग मारे गए हैं, इसमें वहां पर के तमाम जो टेक्निकल बेस के हिसाब से जो वायरलेस सेट का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है कि आतंकियों के पास बाकायदा वायरलेस सेट था, उससे लगातार वॉकी टॉकी जिससे कि बातचीत हो रही थी। अब उस फ्रीक्वेंसी को जानने के साथ एक पूरे रूट को तैयार किया जा रहा है कि आखिर इनका रूट क्या था और किस तरीके से ये एंट्री हुए और इसके बाद एग्जिट हुए, क्योंकि कई चश्मदीद हैं जिन्होंने बताया कि ये जो दहशतगर्द थे जो वहां पर पहुंचे, उसके बाद उन्होंने वहां पर लगातार गोलियां चलानी शुरू कर दी, जिसमें AK-47 का भी जिक्र है कि AK-47 से ये आतंकी वहां पर आतंकी हमले को इन्होंने अंजाम दिया था। ये कुछ दिन पहले से इन्होंने रैकी किया था, अप्रैल के महीने में ये रैकी कर रहे थे, और टीआरएफ ने जिस तरीके से इसको जिम्मेदारी ली है और इस पूरे आतंकी हमले में 2 विदेशी मुल्क के जो नागरिक है उनकी भी मौत बताई गई है, और वहीं दूसरी तरफ अब सरकार पूरी तरीके से एक्शन मोड में आ गई है। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी जिम्मेदारी देश की केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी एनआईए की है। एनआईए की टेरर जो टीम है वो भी साथ में मौजूद है, और अब ये जानने की कोशिश की जा रही है कि आखिर जो टीआरएफ के जो आतंकी जिन्होंने इस पूरे आतंकी हमले को अंजाम दिया, इसमें से जो 2 आतंकी हैं वो लोकल बताए जा रहे हैं और 2 पाकिस्तानी मुल्क के। तो इनकी एंट्री कैसे हुई, यहाँ पर कैसे ये रुके, किस तरीके का इनका रूट था, जो एक पूरा इक्विपमेंट था, क्या इसके पीछे जिस तरीके से आईएसआई का अब हाथ सामने आ रहा है, लश्कर तैयबा का कनेक्शन है, क्योंकि लश्कर तैयबा का ही एक पार्ट ये एक भी कह सकते हैं कि एक डमी ये यहाँ पर एक टेरर ग्रुप है टीआरएफ, जो पिछले साल 2019 से कहीं ना कहीं एक्टिव हुआ है, जब आर्टिकल 370 को हटाया गया था। उसके बाद यहाँ पर जिस तरीके से टीआरएफ जो है एक तरह से अपने आप को पूरी तरह से एक्टिव कर चुका है, इसके जो टेरर के जो इसके मेंबर्स हैं वो आमतौर पर पूरी तरीके से लोकल दिखते हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं जो इनकी भाषा होती है ये पूरी तरीके से कश्मीरी होते हैं। इसमें जो पाकिस्तान के भी जो लोग इसमें शामिल हैं, और टीआरएफ को इस्टेब्लिश किया गया था साल 2023 में, इसको यूएपीए के तहत बैन किया गया था भारत सरकार की तरफ से। लेकिन जहां एक तरफ एनआईए अब पहलगाम में पूरी तरीके से इस जांच में जुट गई है, तमाम एविडेंस, तमाम चश्मदीदों के साथ इसके रूट मैप को लेकर, इसके एग्जिट पॉइंट को लेकर, इसके पूरे सीक्वेंस को लेकर, टेक्निकली सर्विलांस में किस तरह से वायरलेस सेट का इस्तेमाल किया, इसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या थी, किस तरीके से इस पूरे मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया गया, और जो लोग हैं, जो आतंकी, वो किस रूट से भागे हैं, उनकी एग्जिट कैसे हुआ। क्योंकि जो पहलगाम का जो पूरा एक जगह है, ये आमतौर पर कश्मीर के सबसे खूबसूरत जगहों में से एक है, क्योंकि पूरा खाली मैदान रहता है, इसके पीछे एक घना जंगल है जहां से ये जो दहशतगर्द हैं ये दाखिल हुए थे। अब ये 6 लोगों में से क्या इन लोगों ने जिस तरह से पूरी रैकी करने के बाद इसको उस टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया, तो अब सबसे बड़ी बात है कि इसके पीछे का मैसेज क्या है। मतलब इस 26 बेकसूर लोगों की जो को मौत के घाट उतारा गया इस पूरे टेरर मॉड्यूल में, तो आखिर इसके पीछे का मकसद क्या था, आखिर क्या मैसेज देना चाहता है टीआरएफ। क्योंकि जानकारी के मुताबिक टीआरएफ ने इसकी जिम्मेदारी ली है, और जिस तरीके से द रेसिस्टेंस फ्रंट जो अपने आप को एस्टैब्लिश करना चाह रहा है, और कहीं ना कहीं इसे आईएसआई पूरी तरीके से बैकअप कर रहा है, और लश्कर तौयबा का ये एक पूरा आतंकी संगठन है जिसने अपने आप को कश्मीर में एस्टैब्लिश कर लिया। अभी हाल ही के दिनों में अगर हम साल 2022 और 24 की बात करें, तो टीआरएफ ने कई आतंकी जो छोटे हमले हैं उन्होंने किया था, और हाल ही में पिछले साल जिस तरीके से सेना के गाड़ियों को निशाना बनाया गया था, उसमें भी टीआरएफ का नाम सामने आया था। अब जो है कि आईजी रैंक के अधिकारी जानकारी के मुताबिक एनआईए को लीड कर रहे हैं। इसमें 2 एसपी हो सकते हैं, 2 एसपी हैं जानकारी के मुताबिक, एडिशनल एसपी हैं, इसके बाद इंस्पेक्टर रैंक के अधिकारी हैं, और बाकी एनआईए की जो लोकल लोअर स्टाफ है वो इस पूरे टीम में शामिल है। अब एनआईए अपने टेरर एंगल से लेकर अपने जो टेक्निकली बेस पर तमाम पहलगाम के हर एक एंगल को जांच कर रही है, और टीमें जो है अलग अलग जो मोटिव है उस पूरे मोटिव को लेकर जानना चाह रही है। लोकल पुलिस से एस्टैब्लिश किया गया पूरे बेस इन्वेस्टिगेशन को, पूरे इंफॉर्मेशन को, जिससे लेकर एनआईए अब हर एक एंगल को लेकर जांच में जुट गई, क्योंकि इनकी तस्वीरें सामने आ चुकी है, टीआरएफ ने इसकी जिम्मेदारी ले ली है। अब जो एनआईए का एक मेन बेस है कि आखिर ये जो फ्रीक्वेंसी, जिस फ्रीक्वेंसी पे ये लगातार वायरलेस सेट पर बात कर रहे थे, आखिर कौन सी फ्रीक्वेंसी थी और इसको ऑपरेट कैसे किया जाता है। क्योंकि जानकारी के मुताबिक कहीं ना कहीं जो एक पूरा पैटर्न है वो 26 से 11 के पैटर्न की तरह है, और जानकारी के मुताबिक जिस तरीके से 26 से 11 हमला हुआ था साल 2008 में नवंबर में, उस वक्त भी तमाम जो आतंकी थे, 10 आतंकी थे, उनके पास पूरी तरीके से वॉकी टॉकी था, और उनके पास पूरा जीपीएस सिस्टम था, और पूरी तरीके से उनको रूट मैप तैयार किया गया था, और इसके लिए रैकी भी की गई थी, जिसमें ताउर राना और बाकी लोगों का जो डेविड कॉलमैन हेडली का नाम आया था। ठीक उसी तरीके से ये जिस तरीके से कल मंगलवार के दिन जो आतंकी हमला हुआ पहलगाम में, उसमें भी पूरी तरीके से कहीं ना कहीं ये माना जा रहा है, जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आ रही है कि इनके पास पहले से इन्होंने रैकी कर रखा था, और इनके पास पूरी तरीके से कहीं ना कहीं रूट की पूरी तरीके से मैप तैयार था, और इनको पता था कि इन्हें कहां पर आतंकी इस पूरे मॉड्यूल को अंजाम देना है। क्योंकि इसके पीछे का जो मकसद है, अब ये जानना जरूरी कि आखिर टीआरएफ ने अगर इसकी जिम्मेदारी ली है, तो उन्होंने आखिर क्यों 26 जो बेकसूर लोग थे, जो भारत के अलग अलग कोने से आमतौर पर कश्मीर में घूमने आते हैं, उनको क्यों निशाना बनाया गया, उनको टारगेट क्यों किया गया। क्या इसके पीछे कोई एक बड़ी और साजिश की जो एक कहीं ना कहीं कोई ऐसा अंदेशा जताया जा रहा है। क्योंकि हाल ही के दिनों में जिस तरीके से देश का साउथ इंडिया की बात करें या नॉर्थ इंडिया की बात करें या वेस्ट इंडिया की बात करें, जिस तरीके से लगातार छोटे बड़े जो आतंकी संगठन है वो कहीं ना कहीं अपने आप को एक बार फिर से एस्टैब्लिश करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, और लगातार सेंट्रल एजेंसी इस पर नजर बनाई, और इस मॉड्यूल को भी उन्होंने पर्दाफाश किया है। अभी पिछले साल ही जिस तरीके से पाकिस्तान में के जो तमाम आतंकी संगठन है, लश्कर तौबा की बात करें, जैसे मोहम्मद की बात करें, या इनकी दूसरे आतंकी संगठन की बात करें, इन्होंने एक कैबिनेट मीटिंग बुलाई थी, जो और टॉप सोर्सेज के हवाले से खबर है। इस कैबिनेट मीटिंग में आईएसआई के कुछ अधिकारी भी शामिल हुए थे, जिसमें यह तय किया गया था कि कैसे भारत में एक बार फिर से टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया जाए। तो कहीं ना कहीं उसका एक हिस्सा हो सकता है, क्योंकि ये कैबिनेट मीटिंग, जिसका नाम कैबिनेट मीटिंग दी गई थी, और ये बाकायदा पाकिस्तान में ना होकर गल्फ कंट्री में, किसी गल्फ कंट्री में पूरे कैबिनेट मीटिंग को एस्टैब्लिश किया गया था, जहां पर तमाम आतंकियों को रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले आतंकी बाकायदा शामिल हुए थे। उसमें आईएसआई के कुछ अधिकारी भी शामिल हुए थे, और उस कैबिनेट मीटिंग, उसका जो नाम है उसको कैबिनेट मीटिंग इसलिए दिया गया था कि भारत को लेकर यह स्ट्रेटेजी तैयार किया गया था कि आखिर भारत में अब कश्मीर के अलावा दूसरे स्टेट्स में कैसे टेरर मॉड्यूल को अंजाम दिया जाए। तो कहीं ना कहीं यह माना जा रहा है कि इसकी एक प्लानिंग पहले से तय की गई थी, जिसमें 26 बेकसूर लोगों की जान गई है। हालांकि एनआईए सुबह से ही इस पूरे पहलगाम को लेकर अपनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन को उन्होंने तेज कर दिया है, और हर एक एंगल को लेकर जांच की जा रही है। जी
Right, absolutely. Javed, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sharing all those details, exhaustive details with us. But again, our guests are with us on the broadcast, and let's take this conversation forward with them. Mr. N.K. Sood, I have a question for you. You know, we say Hindi mein, we say tali do haath se bachti hai. There may have perhaps been locals on the ground who were helping these terrorists. What to do with those people?
Actually, you see, the terrorists who come from Pakistan, they need local help. And you see, some of the people in the Kashmir, still they play for money. They do their job for money. Or their brains, they are brainwashed, you know. If you see the teachings in madrasas, you know, I was listening to a Pakistani, he said, you know, when I went to madrasa, they used to teach us different things, you know, hate Hindus, hate India. And all these things, you know, they were put in our mind. So these things are put in the minds of these people. Some of the locals are there, but they don't realize what they are doing. Killing Hindus is one aspect, you leave that. But whom they are targeting? They are targeting Kashmiris. They are targeting Kashmiris who are getting their jobs, they are getting their money, who are feeding their families through this tourist, you know. Pakistan had problem with India because tourism was flourishing in Kashmir, and Kashmir was flourishing. And Kashmiri who were taking rupees 500 from Pakistan ISI to throw stones at Indian army people, they stopped doing that because they got money, they got jobs. In Kashmir, hundreds of tunnels are being built, hundreds of bridges have been built, roads are being developed. Per year, 40,000 crore rupees they are spent on Kashmir by the central government to build roads, etc. All these things, development is being done, electricity is being provided, and they started hating Pakistan. Started avoiding Pakistan. So Pakistan was upset. So by this attack, Pakistan has targeted mainly the Kashmiris, you know. And second thing that Pakistan did was, they targeted India. They wanted to project that Kashmir is not a safe place. And third thing that Pakistan did, they wanted to tell the Pakistanis that Kashmir is a disturbed place and we are better off. So this kind of message Pakistan wanted to give, you know, and especially the statement of Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir about Hindus. It was a very destructive statement. It was a statement which he gave out of frustration. But all these statements and whatever Pakistan is doing is going to give Pakistan a bad blood. You know, Pakistan will suffer. Pakistan will have to suffer. I tell you that Pakistan had been doing certain in Kashmir. On the other hand, Pakistan ISIS is very active in Bangladesh. Recently, a high-level team of Bangladeshi army officers, they had gone to Spain. On the other hand, the Pakistan ISI team, they also reached Spain. And Turkish, I think MIT is their intelligence, they were also there. And
Right.
there was plan to carry out terrorist activities into India from Bangladesh.
Right.
So they want to spread their network to India's northeastern states.
Absolutely. We have some breaking news coming in at this point of time, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi's program has been cancelled in view of the Pahalgam terror attack. He was set to come to Kanpur to inaugurate a metro, but that plan has now been cancelled in light of the terror attack that's taken place in Pahalgam. My colleague Rakesh Kumar Singh joins us on the broadcast to give us more on this. Rakesh, what more can you tell us? Okay, we're getting that connection sorted with my colleague Rakesh. But for now, those are the developments that are taking place. Remember, the Prime Minister came back from Saudi Arabia, and now we're also getting to know that his program to visit Kanpur has now been cancelled. He was slated to inaugurate a metro, but that's not happening now. It has been cancelled in light of the terror attack that's taken place in Pahalgam. So details that are coming in at this point of time. The Prime Minister's visit to Kanpur has now been cancelled, is what we are given to understand. My colleague is going to be joining us very shortly to give us an update and details on that front. But for now, those are the details that we are tracking for you on the broadcast. Okay, all right. Let's quickly hop across to Mr. N.K. Sood, who is, of course, talking. So, over to you.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsx. My name is Vineet Malhotra. The deadliest civilian attack in Jammu and Kashmir since a decade. Terrorists shot dead tourists in Pahalgam, with at least 27 feared dead so far, and scores have been injured. Ex gratia 10 lakh rupees has been announced for the victim's kin, and rupees 2 lakh for the injured is what we're getting to know at this point in time. Union Home Minister Amit Shah arrives at Baisaran Meadow, the site of the Pahalgam terrorist attack on these tourists. Union Home Minister Amit Shah paid his tributes to the victims by laying a wreath at a poignant ceremony outside the police control room in Srinagar and interacted with the victims' families. And Newsx accesses exclusive first images of the suspected terrorists as Union Home Minister Amit Shah visits Ground Zero, Baisaran Valley, after the Pahalgam terror attack. After cutting short his Saudi trip, Prime Minister Modi took a briefing and a brief meeting with the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, NSA Ajit Doval, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri and other officials in view of the Pahalgam terror attack. The Indian Army foiled an infiltration bid along the line of control in Baramulla's Uri Nala area. Indian Army neutralized 2 terrorists, and according to officials, a fierce exchange of fire ensued as troops intercepted the infiltrators in North Kashmir.
के साथ जो हुआ ये टूरिस्टों के साथ नहीं हुआ, ये हमारी रोजी रोटी के और हमारी फैमिली के साथ हुआ। जो भी टूरिस्ट इसमें डेथ हुआ वो हम टूरिस्ट उसको नहीं समझते, वो समझते हैं हम हमारी फैमिली मेंबर्स को डेथ किया गया।
All right. In fact, the Nanded district BJP unit has organized a candle march protest over Pahalgam terror attack after terrorists opened fire on 28 tourists. Leaders from all over the world, including US President Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin, condemned the terror attack in Pahalgam and expressed solidarity with India. Air India and Indigo have announced to operate 4 additional flights from Srinagar to Delhi and Mumbai. Air India and Air India Express have also announced free rescheduling and full refunds on flights to and fro from Srinagar until the 30th of April. All right, but at least 27 tourists have been killed after terrorists opened fire on innocent civilians in Pahalgam's Baisaran in Jammu and Kashmir. Gunshots were heard in the area, following which security forces rushed there. Union Home Minister Amit Shah laid wreaths on the bodies of the terror attack victims and assured the survivors that the accused of the dastardly attack would be brought to justice. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha and Chief Minister Omar Abdullah also paid their tributes to the victims. The Home Minister later interacted with families of the victims and other survivors of the attack. He assured them the security forces would leave no stone unturned to bring the perpetrators of the deadly attack to book. Also, the Supreme Court of India has held a 2-minute silence at 2 p.m. to pay homage to those who lost their lives in the Pahalgam terror attack. All judges, lawyers and employees present in the court and registry joined this silence. The decision has been taken with the aim of solidarity against terrorism and a mark of honor to the martyrs. Sambhav Sharma, my colleague, is joining us at this point in time to give us more updates about this. Sambhav, absolutely, the nation is united when it comes to these terror attacks. Everybody is in shock at the moment. The Supreme Court has also expressed solidarity with the victims of this crime, and I'm sure the silence that we are observing right now is just the silence before the storm.
Absolutely, Vineet, as you rightly pointed out, the Supreme Court has held a 2 minutes of silence at 2 p.m. to pay homage, a solidarity to those who lost their lives in the Pahalgam terror attack. All judges, including the Chief Justice of India and lawyers, other judges of the Supreme Court, there are 33 of the Supreme Court, lawyers and employees present in the court and the registry joined this silence in solidarity with those who lost their lives in this Pahalgam terror attack. And also, this decision has been taken with the aim of the solidarity against the terrorism and mark and honor to the martyrs. So this is what is the latest from the Supreme Court. 30 minutes back, a circular was passed by the Supreme Court administration, wherein the security branch said that following procedures to be adopted, a silence observed at 2 p.m. and then after 2 p.m. a 2-minute silence over all year silence will again be sounded at 5 p.m. till 2:10 p.m. So this is what happened in the Supreme Court in the backdrop of this Pahalgam attack and showing a solidarity with the victims of this deadly terror attack.
Right. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is reviewing the security situation at the Baisaran meadow in Pahalgam, where the terror attack took place, is what we are learning at this point in time. Ajay Jandyal, our Jammu Bureau Chief, is also joining us to give us more updates about this. Ajay, the Home Minister did not waste an iota of time to get to the point of attack and ensure that a swift action team is deployed and ways and means to figure out how to take care of the victims of this fatality and this tragedy is also figured out.
Yes, it's almost 20 hours of Amit Shah's visit was started in Jammu and Kashmir, and right after he reached Kashmir, what we have seen that immediately rushed to the Raj Bhavan and he met with the senior officials, Lieutenant Governor, Chief Minister, and other top officials, including the DGP of the Jammu and Kashmir as well. And then there was a meeting. He reviewed the security, meeting yesterday late night as well. And today, once again, after returning from the Pahalgam, he's also chairing a meeting, high-level meeting, to ensure that everything has to be seen, that what steps forces are taking to, thwart Pakistan's nefarious plan of disturbing peace, how forces they are going to take action against these terrorists, those who are responsible for the killing of the innocent tourists in the Pahalgam, and what was the loopholes basically which benefited the terrorists to carry out this attack. That is the point which need to be discussed, and that's why he's meeting the ground forces, meeting the ground commanders, and also the top brass of the security forces.
All right, Ajay, I'm going to come back to you. In fact, with me in the studio at this point in time to shed more light to this this terrible attack is Dr. Sandeep Tripathi, Foreign Affairs expert. Mr. Adit Kothari, Foreign Affairs expert, also joins us on the show. Mr. R.V.S. Mani, former Under Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs, is with me in the studio. Mr. N.K. Sood, former RAW officer, he is also joining us on the program. Mr. Sood, I'll begin with you, sir. Well, obviously, there is a lot to be thought up, a lot to be done, but the voice in everybody's mind is just one. The echo of that voice is Pakistan. The head of the snake is in Pakistan. These are just perhaps symptoms that we see of that larger conspiracy against India, which has lasted for decades. Unless we fix that, nothing is going to change.
Yes, of course, we have to fix the terrorists. We have to see that terrorists are punished. That is one aspect. I think a small aspect. The main aspect is the punishment of the snake, that is the Pakistan Army headed by Asim Munir. They have to be punished. There is no doubt about that. How we punish? Not through surgical strike. Surgical strike is too small. We have to do some big thing. I don't say that we have to go for war with Pakistan, but there are a number of ways which our army knows, which our intelligence agencies know. And the main thing I would like to say, that there is an unfinished agenda which India has to finish. That is Balochistan. If we can raise LTT, if we can raise Mukti Bahini, we can naturally support Baluchis, BLA, and Balochistan will do, the Baluchis BLA will do their job against Pakistan. That's the best bet for India. No war, nothing. When Pakistan can send its terrorists into India, why can't we do that? When Pakistan can send its terrorists into India to kill innocent people, why can't we use certain
So are you
agencies?
saying that we have to respond to Pakistan in the same currency?
Naturally.
Terror.
That is not terror. Mukti Bahini was not a terror. It is a liberation movement that the BLA is launching. Their movement is justified because Pakistan army is killing them.
But Pakistan was not nuclear when Mukti Bahini was there.
But then main thing is that we are not involved in that. Let Pakistan to say whatever they do. When we are nuclear,
So
when
you're saying operate with plausible deniability.
Actually, there are a number of ways. We don't have to send our armies. We don't have to train them. They are trained fighters.
Let me get Mr. Money into this conversation as well. Mr. Money is somebody who's extremely experienced and has his own point of view when it comes to all of this. First of all, Mr. Money, fleetingly, I've also read on social media through a number of detractors and naysayers that this was also an intelligence failure. Where do you stand on that?
I do not agree that it's an intelligence failure. See, there are many people who have this habit of blaming everyone except themselves about the intelligence failure. I later on, by retrospect, in my experience, I have found them that they were colluding with the same forces and they are not trying intelligence forces. I am not talking of anybody who is doing that, but yes, they have been later found to have been colluding with the same forces and thereafter coming out of the theatre and say it's an intelligence failure, it's a security failure and all that. It is not the case.
Okay.
100 successes and 1 miss does not make it an intelligence failure. On this, I have sworn affidavits I have filed on courts saying that there are thousands and thousands, several terrorist attempts and which have been prevented with the same intelligence agencies and the same security agency and law agency, which whereas 1 miss is again hyped out.
You answered my question. Answer this question as well, Mr. Money. Do you think locals are involved?
See, this cannot happen without the support of the locals, and they are now coming out that locals have been involved. See, it is locals, the Pakistan, the terrorism nursery of Pakistan also extends into several households in Kashmir Valley, and it is not sheerly just recruitment, it could be through coercion and other methods also, including blackmailing. So that ground level, see, indeed, Masood Azhar employees are being totally eased out of the J&K Secretariat because once upon a time Masood Azhar's recommendation was, we have had a dialogue on this, and Honorable Lieutenant Governor has been easing out them, dismissing them, and they are not going for any litigation. So Masood Azhar employees are slowly, but it is just simply not the Secretariat. The Masood employees may be present everywhere because for almost 35 years we have given it a free hand for them to nurse the disaffection among the Kashmiris to be attracted toward the Pakistanis, the Masood Azhars, the Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Hizbul Mujahideens and all. They are running the show only after 2016-17 that, and after 2019 only we are doing into that. So what about the critical mass which still owe allegiance to that, and those people shelter them, give them their homes and give them what all I don't want to comment on that. And that nursery is there. Not only that, it cannot take place without the local support. Even Ajmal Kasab had confessed having received local support in the 26/11 attack. So this type of attacks cannot take place without the local support. So that one point is very clear. So local support was there, especially the local, notwithstanding the fact that tourism is a sunrise industry, again it's looking up all those things, it will directly affect them. But even a little bit of
so we have some breaking news coming in. Pakistan has reportedly deployed fighter jets on its airstrip in Nuru Khan is what we are learning. Pakistan is obviously feeling the heat at this point in time. Pakistan is aware that they are guilty. There is culpability. And this is, of course, a direct admission that this was Pakistan's doing. My colleague Ajay is joining us on the broadcast. Ajay, Pakistan is deploying fighter jets, so obviously they are getting prepared before India has even started to respond.
Yes, Vineet, what we have came to know that Pakistan, who is basically scared of, after this terror attack took place in the Pahalgam, they have deployed their fighter jets in Noor Khan, which is in Rawalakot. This is a Pakistan Army base, and also in the Sialkot as well. So these are number of bases where Pakistan have deployed its fighter jet, and Pakistan is thinking that India is going to retaliate after this attack was carried out by the Pakistani terrorists in the Pahalgam. but Pakistan must must have understood that whatever they are going to do in Jammu and Kashmir, that will be given very effective retaliation by the forces, because it is something which is not tolerable. And how could you target the innocent civilians, those who were there to enjoy the peace of the Kashmir, beauty of the Kashmir? So that is something which Pakistan have done, and there Pakistan, I am understood that Pakistan is going to be punished by the Indian forces.
All right. Meanwhile, my colleague Nibir Deka has also spoken exclusively to the kin of one of the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack. Nibir has held a phone interview with Rubu, sister of Teger Haling, a victim from Arunachal Pradesh who was an employee of the Indian Air Force. In fact, Tegalayang was on a trip to the valley with his wife and brother when the tragic incident took place. His sister has now revealed that arrangements are being made to bring his body back to his hometown of Zero in Arunachal. Meanwhile, let's in fact listen into that conversation.
कर रहे हैं बात, मतलब टीवी में भी हम दिखा रहे हैं कि अरुणाचल से जीरो से है ना आप लोग?
हाँ हाँ।
तो आप बताइए ना, वो पहलगाम क्या घूमने गए थे?
वो जो उधर में है सर, उसका वो जो मिलिट्री है ना।
अच्छा, एयरफोर्स में है ना वो?
हाँ, एयरफोर्स में है ना वो जो ना।
अच्छा अच्छा। आपका दूसरा भाई के साथ भी मैंने बात किया, तो वो आपका भाई मतलब वो पहलगाम में मतलब पोस्टेड था ना?
हाँ, मेरा वहाँ पे ना मेरा एक बेटा है फौजी में ना, आर्मी में।
अच्छा।
उसमें कश्मीर में, और एक भाई है वो भी कश्मीर में है।
अच्छा अच्छा।
उधर में मेरा 3 फैमिली वहाँ में।
ओके ओके। सो आप लोग आपका
अभी तो वाला एयरफोर्स है।
ये जो एयरफोर्स वाला भाई बड़ा भाई है?
हाँ नहीं, हमसे छोटा है।
अच्छा अच्छा, छोटा भाई है। तो वो क्या मतलब क्या हुआ था? वो लोग पहलगाम मतलब पोस्टेड था वो आपका भाई?
हाँ नहीं, वो उसका जो पोस्टिंग था वो हमें दिब्रुगढ़ में था, दिब्रुगढ़ में ना। यहाँ दिब्रुगढ़ में हम लोग अरुणाचल में था, आ गया था ना वहाँ से।
अच्छा, तो वो वहाँ पे क्या? हाँ हाँ बोलिए।
वहाँ पे वो जो मतलब अभी गया है, वहाँ पे उन लोग का पोस्टिंग हो रहा था ना।
अच्छा,
तो थोड़ा उसमें कुछ घूमने के लिए गया था होगा। उसका पोस्टिंग आ रहा है।
अच्छा अच्छा।
असली उसका पोस्टिंग जो श्रीनगर में है।
अच्छा अच्छा। और उसका बेटा, कुछ बेटा कोई है?
बेटा नहीं है, अभी नया शादी हुआ है।
अच्छा, नया शादी हुआ था। कितना दिन हुआ शादी करने के लिए?
शादी हुआ अभी तो 1 साल ज्यादा ही हो गया। 2
अच्छा, तो अभी घर में कैसा सिचुएशन है मैडम? क्योंकि इतना बड़ा लॉस हुआ है, क्या कैसा सिचुएशन है घर में?
अभी हम भी फिलहाल ईटानगर में, अभी कैपिटल में है ना। तो अभी मम्मी पिताजी तो अभी जीरो में है।
अच्छा अच्छा। मम्मी डैडी को बोला?
हम भी तो अभी यहाँ से निकलने के लिए कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे जीरो पे ना।
मम्मी डैडी को बोला आपने?
हाँ, बताया है अभी।
क्या कैसा हालत है उनका अभी?
हालत ही नहीं है अभी दोनों जो ना।
पूरा सुबह से मतलब
हालत नहीं है,
पूरा खराब है ना?
हाँ, हालत खराब है दोनों।
बहुत बड़ा एक लॉस है। देश के लिए काम कर रहे थे आपके भाई, दोनों भाई आपके आर्मी में हैं अरुणाचल से, और अभी आप क्या जीरो जा रहे हैं?
हाँ, हम निकलेगा सर, यहाँ से निकलेगा हम भी ना।
आपको जब आपका जब खबर कब मिला? आपको रात को मिला?
हाँ, खबर तो रात को ही मिला था हमको भी ना।
अभी फैमिली में मतलब कैसा? मैं आपने अपने भाभी से बात किया जो उनका भाई का वाइफ है?
नहीं, वो तो अभी सेंसलेस है ना, अभी बात करने का होश ही नहीं है।
क्यों?
हाँ, तो उधर में, वो भी उधर में है ना अभी।
अच्छा, वो भी इंजर्ड है क्या?
हाँ, वो इंजर्ड नहीं है, लेकिन वो ठीक है बोल के बोला, तो सेफ है बोला है।
मतलब वो जो घटना के बाद वो सेंसलेस हो,
अभी सेंसलेस हो रहे हैं।
ओके मैडम आपका नाम, गुड नेम?
मेरा नाम जो रुबू मुड़िया है। रुबू
मुड़िया। ओके।
हाँ, हम एक्चुअली तागे है हम जो ना, उसका अभी जो डेथ हुआ है उसका भाई दीदी है हम जो ना।
हाँ, दीदी है ना
हम जो ना।
आप ठीक है मैम, आप जीरो जाइए, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो हमें बताना, मैं भी अपने लेवल पे। और
आप कहाँ से ना?
मैं निबिर हूँ मेरा नाम, मैं इंडिया न्यूज चैनल से बात कर रहा हूँ, न्यूज़ इंडिया न्यूज से। मैं नॉर्थ ईस्ट का हेड हूँ चैनल का, इसीलिए जो वो नॉर्थ ईस्ट से है ना, इसीलिए मैंने फोन किया आपको। उनका ये जो हमने बात किया, ये मैं टेलीविजन में हाईलाइट करूंगा, क्योंकि नॉर्थ ईस्ट से एक डेथ ही हुआ है आपके भाई का, तो इसीलिए आपको मैंने फोन किया। आपका ये कन्वर्सेशन में चला दूंगा। और मैम, आपको कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो मुझे फोन कर देना, ठीक है? जीरो में जा रहे हैं, मैं आपके साथ जुड़ा रहूंगा। और कुछ भी बॉडी लाने के लिए भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो तो मुझे बताना, ठीक है? ठीक है मैम, आप मेरा नंबर सेव कर लीजिएगा, निबिर डेका, ठीक है?
चलो ठीक है।
Right, Mr. Mani wanted to comment regarding that breaking news that we just showed about the Pakistani army, in fact the Air Force deploying or getting ready, with fighter jets.
Ironically, 2611, which they did it with so much of evidence, at that time they did not take this. Now that is the difference between 2008 and 2004, the leadership, the political leadership, the security forces, everybody is as strong as the political leadership allows them to be. The diplomatic corps is as strong as 26/11. They were brazening it out. Although the attack was so blatant, and now they have got into a different. Not only admission. They know that we are going to invite it because it is what exposed. First is the admission by the Pakistan. Second is now they have got into a defensive mode that look, if anything untoward happens, if a repeat of Balakot, this is the biggest giveaway that the local government also is resolute about acting. This is one of the biggest giveaway to the nation that this government means business. This leadership means business. So they have put Pakistan on that. Whereas in 26/11, you have heard the then Air Force chief and all other things, and still Pakistan for two days they did not take any action. Now and Pakistan continued to be brazening it out. That is the difference between that. This is a very vital point I wanted to make. Thank you.
Let me also rope in Dr. Sandeep Tripathi into this conversation. Dr. Tripathi, Pakistan is getting ready. We've already spoken that this is obviously optically an admission of guilt. This is not the first time something like this has happened. But when will it be the last time that Pakistan dares to kill civilians, within our own country, innocent civilians who were not at fault? They were in their own country, enjoying a trip. Some of them youngsters, some of them just married. We have widows now. We have sons without fathers. We have wives without husbands. This is obviously something which India cannot take lying down anymore.
See, first of all, it's very painful and it's very horrific. And this terror attack, it reminds something. That reminds me that Pakistan itself is bleeding in terms of. And as far as the Kashmir is concerned, last 3-4 years we have seen the kind of peace, the kind of progress that were taking place there. And we have seen that tourism has been the lifeline of Kashmiri economy. And now it was evolving. So something was happening inside the Kashmir in terms of the peace and prosperity. And the bleeding was taking place in Pakistan. So Pakistan thinking that, this is time to destabilize India, as Pakistan did in the past also. So, Prime Minister is in Saudi Arabia, the Vice President of the United States is in India. At the same time, this incident took place. So my point is that India should retaliate. India should retaliate tit for tat. India should retaliate in a way that Pakistan should consider it is not India like before 1947, 65. This is India 2025, that we have a capability and we have international solidarity also. That we have seen that Trump has explained. Trump has masses of solidarity. Russia has sent the massive solidarity. The global community is with India. So I think this is the right time to retaliate, to hit Pakistan in their own language, because the Pakistan is a country that we cannot rely the talks and the terror. This is the right time to send a message to Pakistan. If you understand the language of a threat, the language of terror, we must retaliate to you. And I hope the Indian government is very aware of it and conscious and ready for that to retaliate this kind of incident that took place in Pahalgam. It's so painful. The entire country is outrageous. If you see the footage that Pahalgam, that's very disturbing. No can sleep even. So I think this is the right time to send a message and a lesson to be taught to the Pakistan. Now India is in a position that you need to have a proper response. And we are sure that in the leadership, our army is strong to send a message to Pakistan. So let's see what will happen. But literally, I'm telling you, the youngest in the entire country is on the pen. The entire country is outrageous.
Okay, let me also rope in Adit Kothari into this conversation.
This is not right time to talk about.
Adit, we obviously have to take some action. But in your mind, what would be appropriate at this point in time? Obviously India needs to show that our civilians and their lives are important. The peace and tranquility which has been achieved with a lot of effort, Adit, needs to be reinstated. The tourism industry, which kicked off just very recently in Kashmir, perhaps is completely destroyed because faith, trust, and the ability to accept that this place is without any terror activity is a difficult choice that these tourists made. And look how they have been rewarded. The government, in fact, has to make a case out of this.
Absolutely, Vineet. I think I'm fully on board with that particular argument that, post 2019, whatever policies the government basically had in place to put in an infrastructure for investment, to ensure that, security was provided, to ensure that locals were being able to find both peace and prosperity in terms of, we're getting more than 2 to 3 crore tourists every year on year in the valley. So, it was helping the economy boom. It was helping the alleviate the lives of the locals on a day-to-day basis, and more or less it was basically neutralizing the Pakistani side of narrative. So I think Pakistan basically found itself in that particular troubled waters where there is this internal fiction within themselves, and the only thing that sort of unites Pakistan is the anti-India rhetoric. General Asif Munir, he invoked the two-nation theory, and he wedged out the differences between the Hindu and the Muslim. It is all to ensure that the Pakistanis can speak from a unison voice. They can look at India from a unity perspective and the prism of Islam, and that is the only way they are able to unite the country, which is the anti-India hate. I mean, Pakistan in itself, the definition of Pakistan stands for anti-India hate. The whole premise of Pakistan is anti-Hindu and anti-India hate. And that is what they best understand, and that is what they best exercise at this point. But having said that, Vineet, I think we need to look at it from a two-tier perspective. One is the external threat, which is of course Pakistan, which is using its proxies to wage a war, to bleed India with 1,000 cuts, a state policy which they have been exercising and utilizing since the 1980s. But there is also the other dimension of the 1,000 Pakistans which live within India. So from an Indian perspective, one is the external threat and the other is the internal threat. How do we actually neutralize both? From a Pakistani perspective, I think it's a bit more easier. When I say easier, I'm obviously saying easier compared to the internal threat that we have. There are a number of options available to the government, right, including from military action right up to the Indus Water Treaty, which I think is being spoken about quite widely at this point. Even till last year, India.
You're absolutely right, but Mr. Sood, what's also being spoken about is the fact that this is a different kind of an attack now. This is an attack which is predominantly targeting Hindus. This is not arbitrary. This has become a very specific, a very clinical, a very surgical attack on a particular community in India.
True. And why this is? Who is responsible for this? Naturally, Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir. His statement started all this. And I am very surprised, Whenever Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, something big happens in India. And then after going abroad, he questions accountability. What is Rahul Gandhi's accountability? What is he doing in America? But when Rahul Gandhi goes to Bangkok, he's different because he has, I think, different assignment over there. Secondly, what is Rahul Gandhi's accountability? When Doklam happens, he goes to the Chinese ambassador, meets him, but doesn't say anything. He doesn't inform the government. He was given Z+ security, kicks out of India without informing the government, although he is supposed to inform the government that he is going there so that arrangements for security arrangements could be made, because he has no security risk. He is asking for accountability. What is your accountability? When you go to China in 2008 and sign some secret agreements, what is your accountability? When in Nepal, the government change was there, the rule of the Raja was to be removed, you send a communist leader belonging to CPM.
So what are you saying, sir?
I am saying that they are playing a dirty game.
Who's playing a dirty game, sir?
And I am mentioning the name of the person.
Okay. So you're holding Rahul Gandhi responsible for this?
Actually, what happened, that they had sent Yechuri the Congress government was in rule 2006. Yesterday did not meet Indian ambassador.
I want to hear from Mr. Mani. What does he have to say about that? Mr. Mani, interesting to know. What do you think? This is obviously much deeper than what meets the eye. Are you saying that there is a cultural, political angle to this as well?
Indeed. See, I am not saying the Chief of Defence Staff before his unfortunate accident had already said that India is fighting a 2.5% level war. And that 5% is so strong that it contains a lot of politicians. See, I am on record of having said that why I started off saying that in 2611 Pakistan was brazen because their partners were in power in India. Is it not very? Why are they getting agitated? Because in spite of in 2611, 48 hours or 60 hours it went on. How did they get the ammunition? Do you think some 10 people swimming across through a dinghy for the last 5 kilometers of their last mile of their journey would have brought in so many so much of arms and communication equipment to sustain the Indian security forces for 60 hours? So there is much more which meets the eye, and every time there is an attack, even in Pulwama, even after the Uri, and even after the Pathankot, wherever it happened, they always question of accountability, and accountability is there for all to see. Every time we have retaliated, we have had the Pakistanis bleeding for doing their misadventure in India. But we have had so many, when Arif Kaswani was trying that he had done the Samjhauta attack, Congress people were saying, no, Hindus have done it. So like that, several times they have partnered with Pakistan in perpetuating. So if Mr. Sood has said something, it is not misplaced.
Okay.
We need to be, that also needs to be looked into, and that also need to be flagged. I am not directly saying agreeing with it, but it is not off the mark. We have had records of Congress people supporting the terrorists. We have had records of Congress people trying to divert, blame X for a terror act done by a community called Y, and these things have happened. So it is not far off, it is not far-fetched. We should take Mr. Sood's comment very seriously.
Are you also surprised that a number of these left liberals are quiet?
Gone quiet. They have gone quiet.
They haven't mentioned anything on X or any of their personal platforms?
Any of them. Who has made this? And that is what I said, the 0.5 part of the front. The 0.5 of the front contains not only the left liberals, the urban naxals, and all sorts of people.
Are you saying that the silence is some sort of a vindication that they're not voicing out?
See, basically now Pakistan's admission is right in that they have got lots of words to really counter it anything, because now Pakistan itself has admitted, as they say that.
Right, and thank you for bringing that up. In fact, Major General Brajesh Kumar, former DG Military Infrastructure, senior defence expert, is also with us on the broadcast. General Brajesh Kumar, sir, thank you for taking out the time and speaking with us. I hope you can hear me. Sir, can you hear me? Or I think he's not there with us. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, sir. I wanted you to respond to me. Okay, there you are, sir. Sir, Asif Munir, the very responsible chief of army in Pakistan, had put out a very poisonous statement just a few days ago, and a lot of people feel that that could be a signal or the beginning or the impetus that was required for these terrorists to come and attack India. Do you think that people in this position need to be more careful, need to be more responsible? For crying out loud, sir, he's a 4-star general.
Absolutely. You see, Pakistan without his army out cannot be governed. Army has a stake in the, shall I say, Pakistan is a state of the army per se. And maybe what the Chief Asif said the other day was because of his internal compulsions, political compulsions, like, the cricketer turned politician becoming too strong, and he also being liked by a large number of people in the uniform fraternity. So he probably trying to say, I'm holier than thou, I'm as pious, as extremist as the Pakistan polity think about. So obviously that contribution it could have been there very much, no, goes without saying. But there is a more important aspect to it. That's the reason they throw of the Pakistan army. Keeping the Kashmir pot boiling, keeping enmity with India on a permanent basis.
I agree with you, sir.
Ensures that they have relevance. And for if nothing else, for sheer survival. And the Pakistan military per se is not only into the business of war machinery, which all armed forces are, it's also into exaggerated intelligence system, the ISI. It's also into a large amount of foundations and of fund-making businesses per se, right from transportation to logistics to cement factory to construction to what have you. So therefore, to perpetrate their rule, to ensure that they have a longevity much beyond the immediate future, they will resort to these tricks. Now we have also grown up with listening to them and seeing their tricks. And we acted pretty smart when we dismembered them into two halves long back, the year I got commissioned, that was 1971. But thereafter, over a period of time, we also managed them well when we became very, very active by a typical good economic diplomacy, shall I say, by making their arms or expenditure in defense much higher than they're being sustained by economy of their size. That also made them a little irrelevant in our scheme of things in the last decade or so. However, periodically these people take to this kind of a measure to stay in relevance, and that's what precisely has happened. And very, very unfortunate that they got around killing the civilians into our state of Jammu and Kashmir, where the tourism has been booming. I was just looking at the data in last 4 years. The number of tourists into
you're right about that, sir, but unfortunately I think that bubble has burst for some time, and we have some breaking news coming in. As per sources, the meeting chaired by the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh with NSA Ajit Doval and the chiefs of the three armed forces, overall issues related to the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir were discussed. It lasted for 2.5 hours. The issue is expected to be discussed in further detail in the Cabinet Committee on Security meeting, which is likely to be held today. More breaking news coming in. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has called for a special cabinet meeting on Wednesday evening to discuss Pahalgam terror strike, is what we are learning at this point in time. We are also getting to know that Prime Minister Modi has cancelled his visit to Kanpur, which was scheduled for the 24th of April. Amidst the terror attack in Pahalgam, the PM was slated to inaugurate and lay the foundation stone for development projects worth rupees 20,000 crores during his visit. However, given the prevailing atmosphere of grief and public sentiment, the program has been called off as a mark of respect. All right, let me in fact open Mr. Money again into this conversation. Mr. Money, it's a different situation now. Of course, we were responsible for putting up, a separate state away from the Pakistanis, but of late, sir, there have been problems with our immediate neighbors. Bangladesh, even Maldives, they are in fact showing the level of aggression which they would have not dared to, and this is obviously something which can be considered either China-backed or Pakistan-backed. This is a problem that India must realize and contend with, sir.
See, the cat was out of the bag when Maldives came, that it was a Chinese backing, but later on they came crying to India for more economic help, because what could happen with a Chinese alliance relationship was seen in the Sri Lanka, has been where they almost went into impoverishment. Pakistan, one part of their problem of economic impoverishment or lack of development or lack of resources or sustainability is because of the excessive Chinese interference. Of course, their own, they don't mean development.
But Mr. Mani, sorry to interject you, sir, but do you think that Pakistan will continue to live in a bubble? Asif Munir went on to say, enunciate that, his forefathers, he was obviously referring to Mr. Jinnah, wanted and believed in the two nation theory because Muslims and Hindus are different. How can you have such a premise knowing that there are more Muslims in India than Pakistan? That is obviously a stance to divide.
It is a stance to divide. It is not only a stance to divide, it was an attempt to again create cleavages in India between the community. Communal divide was thought to be a provocation because there are still a lot of people in India, either through psyops, either through several other ways, and again through this 0.5% front of left liberals and others, XYZ and opposition leaders, anti-government people, who would pick this up and also provocate, especially in the context of few things happening, where something is happening in Murshidabad, maybe Bangladesh backed, maybe locally grown or organic, we do not know the reasons, when the Waqf is being, reforms in the Waqf.
Yeah, so let me just hold you right there. Manohar Keshri, my colleague, is also joining us on the broadcast. Manohar, प्रधानमंत्री के जो प्रोग्राम थे वो कैंसिल कर दिए गए हैं. प्रधानमंत्री के जितने भी स्केड्यूल्ड प्रोग्राम्स थे अगले कुछ दिनों के लिए वो कैंसिल कर दिए गए हैं. सबसे बड़ी बात ये भी है मनोहर कि प्रधानमंत्री ने अपने सऊदी अरेबिया का जो दौरा था वो भी एक दिन कट शॉर्ट किया और वापस आ गए हैं. ये जो मुलाकात हो रही है, हाई प्रोफाइल मीटिंग जो चल रही है, उसका फलसफा क्या निकल सकता है?
देखिए, बिल्कुल अगर आप देखेंगे कुछ देर पहले ही रक्षा मंत्रालय में करीब 3 घंटे तक लंबी बैठक चली है, हाई लेवल की बैठक चली है और इसमें तीनों सेनाओं के एयरफोर्स, नेवी और आर्मी, तीनों सेनाओं के चीफ ने सरकार को अपनी रिपोर्ट सौंपी है, रक्षा मंत्री को रिपोर्ट सौंपी है और उन्होंने कहा है कि हम एक्शन के लिए तैयार हैं, बस इंतजार है तो रक्षा मंत्री की ओर से आदेश का. अब आप देखिए, जैसा कि आपने बताया कि सऊदी अरबिया की जो यात्रा थी इसको बीच में छोड़ करके ही प्रधानमंत्री वापस आ गए. निर्मला सीतारमण जो यूएस दौरे पे थी वो भी आ रही है वापस, क्योंकि आज शाम 6 बजे कैबिनेट कमेटी ऑन सिक्योरिटी की बैठक होनी है और इसके फाइनल फैसला लिया जाएगा कि पाकिस्तान को किस तरह से करारा जवाब देना है. क्योंकि तीनों सेनाओं ने इस पे अपनी फाइनल मोहर लगा दी है कि हम हर एंगल से जो है सो तैयार है, हमें सिर्फ इंतजार है हरी झंडी का. तो ऐसी स्थिति में क्या सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक होगा या डायरेक्ट अटैक होगा, क्योंकि अब आप देखिए कि उड़ी स्ट्राइक हुआ था और वैसी स्थिति में पाकिस्तान को भनक तक नहीं लगी थी. जो पाकिस्तान अभी अपने भारत की सीमा के आसपास जो वो फाइटर प्लेन उड़ा रहा है, PF 198 और PF 101 की अगर बात करूं, जो रावलपिंडी और लाहौर से भारतीय सीमा तक कर रहा है, जो डराने की कोशिश कर रहा है कि ये उसका खुद का डर दिखा रहा है. तो उसके आर्मी चीफ खुद डरे हुए हैं और उनके नेता खुद डरे हुए हैं. शहबाज शरीफ के मुझे कुछ हलक से जवाब तक नहीं निकल रहा है. तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि भारत जो है सो मुंहतोड़ जवाब देने के प्रयास में है. भारत पूरी तरह से तैयारी कर चुका है और जब आज शाम सीटीएस की बैठक होगी जिसमें रक्षा मंत्री होंगे, केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह होंगे, क्योंकि अभी भी अमित शाह जो है सो पहलगाम में है तो वो पहुंचेंगे, निर्मला सीतारमण पहुंचेंगी, अजीत डोवाल रहेंगे. तो मतलब ये पूरा थिंक टैंक.
चलिए मनोहर, हम आपके पास वापस आएंगे. Some breaking news coming in. One-way traffic has been restored on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway. The train from Katra to New Delhi launched for stranded passengers has also started operations. Ajay Jandyal, my colleague, is joining us to give us more updates about this. Ajay.
The highway traffic was suspended because of the landslide, major landslide which took place 4 days back, and now the partial traffic for the vehicle which basically was stranded on the highway for them, traffic has been restored, and there is traffic on Jammu-Srinagar highway from both the ways will be restored soon after the path which was washed away because of the major cloud burst and heavy rainfall, and that will be restored in the coming days.
Ajay, appreciate you joining us. Thank you for that. We'll keep coming back to you. In fact, more breaking news coming in. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has ordered the airlift of Kannadiga tourists who are stranded in Kashmir In wake of the Pahalgam terror attack, the Chief Minister has instructed officials to arrange a special airlift operation to evacuate over 40 Kannadiga tourists stranded in the state. The state government has deployed response teams and sent State Minister Santosh Lad to oversee the relief efforts. Let me in fact rope in Adit once again into this conversation. Adit, when October 7th happened, there was a huge response from the world community, the international community as well. India is calling this operation by the Pakistanis as its own October 7th. But look at the response that Israel has had against that kind of an oppression. Look at the response that the world community has also in fact given, or support that the world community has given to Israel. Do you think that it is time that India also needs to take a stance such as this? Otherwise, our civilians are going to be susceptible to Pakistan's sinister plans.
Absolutely, Vineet. I think the time has come where we push the envelope and we ensure that we act with complete spine of steel against a nefarious power like Pakistan, which is hell bent on destroying us, where their objective, their whole existence is to obliterate us. So the time has come to act now instead of harboring any sense of political correctness. And with the changing geopolitical atmosphere, we see how Israel has tackled the Palestinian problem, or the Hamas problem, how Russia is handling its Ukrainian problem, even how Donald Trump is handling all of the the global geopolitical scenario. It presents a perfect opportunity for India to now change the narrative and take the war to Pakistan and make them pay for exactly this asymmetrical warfare that they have been executing and engineering since the 1980s. So all in all, I think the time has come that the Indian polity, the Indian armed services all need to sort of demonstrate some spine and take the war to them and completely fracture Pakistan to a point where they are left in a vegetative state. Vineet.
Mr. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator, also joins us on the broadcast. Sumit, let me in fact go to that vile message that Asif Munir spewed out just a few days ago. Do you think that also precipitated the spunk in these cowardly terrorists to infiltrate into India and attack our innocent, empty-handed citizens? And do you think when we talk about getting rid of the problem, we have to aim, we have to crush the head of the snake, which is Rawalpindi? It is not the LOC.
Vinny, thank you for having me on your show. I think I was on your show that time. Look, Munir's message was very clear. We had a problem in Murshidabad. Supreme Court was supposed to give a judgment on the Waqf board at 2 o'clock that day, and in between this Munir's message comes. Munir is very clearly talking, we have a problem with Hindus. He's not taking India, he's not talking Bharat. He's talking, we have a problem with Hindus, hamara life alag, our way of life is different, our ambitions and our aims. Of course, you have an ambition of Ghazwa Hind, we don't have that. So he's very clear. He said we can't live together with Hindus, and we and Hindus are, poles apart. And that is why our forefathers thought there should be a Pakistan. So Munir's message was to foment trouble here, was to flare the passions of Muslim and Muslim youth here. It did not work. So he was trying to give an impression, look, Kashmir is the juggler vein of ours, that we are with the Muslims of India, we are with the, we are with all the Muslim causes. And don't forget what is the goddamn motto of Pakistan army. What do you call that? They say, Iman, Taqwa, Jihad, Fizibillah. We believe in Allah and will do jihad in the name of Allah. That is their motto. Naam, Namak, Nishan, jo hamara. Their motto is Iman, Taqwa, Jihad, Fizibillah. That we believe in Allah and do jihad in the name of Allah. That is their motto. That's not what I invented. Now, this is the mentality of the person who was heading it. When it did not work there, so what did he do? He asked his men, go and do this. Because again here, we need it, where my personal reading is, look, couple of things here. First of all, around few thousand bullets were fired. 4 AKs going for 10 minutes. Few thousand bullets are easily fired. And out of those few thousand bullets, the only people who die are Hindus. Nobody else dies. So either the bullets were sensitive or the bullets were only tagged to go into a Hindu's body and nobody else. TRF comes with a statement, TRF, the terrorist organization which did it. He says, we did not kill locals. We spared women and children, but we identified and dispatched Hindu settlers. So now Hindu is a settler in its own country. You are a settler in Kashmir, I am a settler in Kashmir. This is the new reality we have to look at. And if you look at this style of attack, this does not have a footprint of Lashkar-e-Toiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed. This has the footprint of Hamas. Vineet, remember a few days back, Hamas's Iranian chief was in POK. He was given a complete baja gaja and reception by Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and all. There was a full stadium where they were having. Iran let this guy pass through and go to Pakistan. And don't think Iran doesn't know it. Iran very well knew it. Because after their Chabhar got sanctions, they had nothing to do with us. I mean, let's not forget it's a mullah regime at the end of the day. When that thing came, I was telling you on your show, Hamas will be knocking our doors. It's a matter of time. And this kind of attack, where does this word of, settlers come? Settlers is not a word of ISI, it's not a word of Lashkar-e-Taiba. It's the Israeli word, it's the Palestinian word, it's used in that context. And identifying people and slaughtering. What is the difference, or what was the difference between 7th October 2023 and what happened on 22nd May 2025? There's no difference. You identify people, you slaughter people. And out of all the bullets fired, only Hindus got killed. No local got killed. We don't want anybody to get killed. Thank God for that. But why? How come every Hindus has got killed? How come all the Hindus got killed? And do you believe in it? This can happen without local support and patronage? Do you think these people came in a parachute? They landed there, they killed, and there's a Pakistani helicopter which came and picked them up? No, they went away. They choose a place, they choose a timing. The place was chosen when no locals are there. They choose a place when no locals are there, when only the visitors were there. They picked up people, they identified people, and they killed people. Let's not call it for the sake of God a terrorist attack. It is religious killing of Hindus. It is ethnic cleansing of Hindus in Kashmir. It's as a targeted religion-based attack on Hindus by Pakistan, by ISI, by Asim Munir. Because look, here's the synchrony. Asim Munir was talking Hindu, and here who's killed is Hindu. And what is the common TRF? TRF is outside of Lashkar-e-Toiba. Where is the Lashkar-e-Toiba's headquarters? It is in Pakistan.
So we just hold on to that thought. Well, some breaking news coming in. Some bodies of the Pahalgam terror attack victims are reportedly being brought to Delhi. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and Delhi BJP President Virendra Sachdev will be present at the airport during this time. Both leaders are expected to go to Delhi airport between 3 and 3:30 p.m. is what we are learning. Manohar Kesri, my colleague, is joining us to give us more updates about this. Manohar?
बिल्कुल अगर हम देखें तो श्रीनगर से कई डेड बॉडी को अलग अलग राज्यों में उनके परिजनों के साथ भेजा जा रहा है। तो ऐसी स्थिति में एक डेड बॉडी दिल्ली भी आनी है और 3 से 4 ऐसी डेड बॉडी है जो वाया मतलब दिल्ली के जरिए जो है तो दूसरे राज्यों में जाएंगे। चाहे पश्चिम बंगाल की बात करें, उड़ीसा की बात करें, तो ऐसी स्थिति में जो दिल्ली आ रहे हैं वहाँ पर दिल्ली से मुख्यमंत्री और बीजेपी के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष ये सभी लोग मौजूद रहेंगे। और अगर कोई असुविधा होती है, हालांकि कोई असुविधा होगी नहीं उनको घर ले जाने के लिए, तो सारी फैसिलिटी होगी, सारी चीजें ध्यान रखी जा रही है। खुद दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री वहाँ पर मौजूद है, जिसकी घड़ी है उनके लिए उनके साथ है, पूरा देश उनके साथ खड़ा है, न्यूज़ उनके साथ खड़ा है और पूरा देश अभी आज बदला अफसोस में है कि सरकार कब जो है सो बदला लेगी। तो सरकार पूरी तरह से लेगी। अब देखिए अब करीब 3:30 बजे के आसपास टर्मिनल 3 में लैंड कर जाएगी फ्लाइट और उसके बाद जो नरवाल फैमिली है, नरवाल फैमिली डेड बॉडी के साथ जो है सो 4 फैमिली वाले साथ में भी हैं और वहाँ से फिर उन्हें हरियाणा ले जाया जाएगा।
All right, we'll keep coming back to Manohar, who's going to give us an update as to what exactly is the situation on ground when it comes to a number of these issues pertaining to dead bodies being flown back to their respective states as well. Going back to Sumit. Sumit, yes, quickly finish your thought, then I'll go to the other panelists.
Important thing is, if you look at the enemy of India, it is not Hafiz Sayyid, it is not Lashkar-e-Toiba, it is not even Salahuddin or anybody. It is Army of Pakistan. I have been telling you since we, I think, started this yesterday at around 5 when we were taken by a shock. If you have to settle this, you have to dismantle this GHQ of Pakistan. Today, there is no difference between Pakistani army and Houthis, Pakistani army and Hezbollah, Pakistani or army and for that example, whoever you call them, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, there's no difference. They all are on the same part of jihad. They are some on the part of ethnic cleansing. And if you don't control these jihadis now, they are not going to stop. They are just going to spread. Why don't we understand This is manifestation of Islamic terror and jihad originating from GHQ Rawalpindi. If we have to settle, no Balakot will do, no surgical strike will do. We have to settle GHQ Rawalpindi and identify who's the villain. The villain's name is General Asim Munir, Hafiz-e-Quran. He's the villain. He's the person who's ordering the hits. If we have to take out, where to identify such people? By taking a Hafiz Sayyid or a Salahuddin, tomorrow they will have a new person. You eliminate Lakwi, another person will come. Ultimately, it is the Pakistani army that has to be settled. We need हिंदी में एक वर्ड आई वांट टू से वन सेंटेंस इज हिंदी. आज हमारे वेस्ट बंगाल में, महाराष्ट्र में, जहां कहीं भी चिताएं जलेंगी, पूरे भारत में चिताएं जलेंगी, जब तक पाकिस्तान में, इस्लामाबाद में, बहावलपुर में, हर गांव, कस्बे, गली में मैयतें नहीं निकलेगी पाकिस्तान की आर्मी की, पाकिस्तान की पंजाबी फौज की, तब तक ये रुकने वाला नहीं है. You have to settle it where it hurts them the most. They are the people who perpetrated this, not those disposable jihadis.
All right, breaking news coming in. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has reached Prime Minister Modi's residence in view of the Pahalgam terror attack. Is the latest news that we are bringing to you. Manohar Keshri, my colleague, is joining us once again to give us some inputs into that. Manohar, बड़ी मुलाकात अजीत डोवाल और प्रधानमंत्री के बीच में प्राथमिकता यही रहेगी कि देशवासियों को और पूरे भारतवर्ष को किस तरीके से ये एक एहसास दिलाया जाए, ये आत्मविश्वास दिलाया जाए कि भारत में ऐसी चीज़ अगर हुई है तो उसके लिए इंतकाम ज़रूरी है.
देखिए, बिल्कुल अगर हम लोगों की बात करें तो कुछ तो पहले ही NSA अजीत डोवाल जो प्रधानमंत्री के आवास पर पहुंचे हैं. और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि कुछ ही दिन पहले रक्षा मंत्रालय में रक्षा मंत्री, तीनों आर्मी के हेड और CDS और अजीत डोवाल भी कहा जा रहा है कि वहाँ मौजूद थे. तो आर्मी चीफ और तमाम सेना के अधिकारियों ने जो रक्षा मंत्री को उन्होंने कहा, जो आदेश दिए गए, जो रिपोर्ट सौंपी गई है कि आखिरकार क्या स्थिति रही है, किस तरह से हम पाकिस्तान को सबक सिखा सकते हैं, इन सबका इनपुट लेकर के अजीत डोवाल यहाँ पर पहुंचे हुए हैं प्रधानमंत्री के आवास से. प्रधानमंत्री से उन सारे पहलुओं पर बात कर रहे हैं. CCS की बैठक से पहले की बैठक है और इस पे सारे एंगल पर बातचीत होगी. याद होगा कि इस वक्त भी जब उड़ी का बदला हो या फिर हम फिल्मों की हम बात करें, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक हुआ था, तो इस समय भी अजीत डोवाल.
चलिए मनोहर, मैं आपके पास आऊँगा. इन फैक्ट देयर इज समथिंग दैट हैज जस्ट कम टू आवर अटेंशन एंड वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस. May also appear shocking to a few people. Robert Vadra's shocking statement has come forth. We're going to listen into that.
I am deeply concerned at the state of our country. Firstly, I feel terrible, and my deep-hearted condolences are for the 28 people who have died in this terrorist act, and a number of people have gotten injured. And definitely my deep-hearted condolences to the family who've lost their loved ones. And I would say that I do wish to say that the people who have gotten injured, hope they recover at the earliest. Terrorist acts are really a weak way of highlighting their cause, is what I feel. This doesn't highlight a cause, it only makes the people who use these acts on civilians and people who are just there for tourists. It's a weak.
Okay, Robert Vadra's reaction coming through. Sumit Peer, Robert Vadra reacting to this terror attack. Quickly respond to that, and then I'll also go to Mr. Mani.
Beneath, it is appalling to hear Mr. Vadra, because what he seems to be suggesting, what I could understand, that by killing 28, 30 people, it's a weak cause, you should have not done it. Pakistan should have used better ways to send a message to India. I mean, how is he supporting Pakistan? He did not condemn terrorists. He did not even take a word of name of Pakistan. He did not condemn Pakistan for doing that. He is saying that the situation in our country is not good and this is not the best way to express your anguish. That is what I could make out of that. I mean, are we talking here bananas? Are we talking here some chickens lost their head, or what are we talking here? I mean, that is what seems to be the connotation here. But why Congress is so hesitant to take name of Pakistan? Why they can't condemn Pakistan? Why they can't condemn terror? Why they can't call terrorists and terror? And what was the government of Umar Abdullah doing? That's a different point. I mean, Vineet, come on, after such a debacle, after such a unfortunate incident where people were identified and eliminated based on their religion. Do we still want to play this politics? Do we still want to somehow put the blame on Modi and all? We want to blame Modi, Amit Shah, Yogi, everybody, but we will not take name of terrorists. We will not use Pakistan.
Okay. So with Mr. Mani, he's also gone on to say that in our country we see that this government will talk about Hindutva. The minorities feel uncomfortable and troubled. If terrorists are looking at people's identity, why are they doing this? Because there is a divide that has come about between Hindus and Muslims. And this will make the organization feel that Hindus are making problems for all Muslims.
We could infer from this statement that
Let me get a reaction from Mr. Mani on this quickly.
See, it is really, there is no sense of seriousness or a fact-based statement on Robert Vadra. He is playing to the gallery and trying to divert the issue as his brother-in-law, as the members of his family. Let's it very clear, whether in 2005 and 6 and 7 when he was land grabbing, at that time he never made any statement on failure of the then government, forget about it, that was a family government. But after having said that, now what provokes him, when as Mr. Sumit has said, selective
Mr.
killings.
Vatican for the Bharatiya Janata Party is also joining us at this point in time. Mr. Vatican, Robert Vadra's reaction coming through, he's saying that this is something that has happened because of the macho Hindutva that the BJP has been illustrating for the last few years.
This is a narrative that the Congress party is water testing through their damad. Now that launch has failed because the country is one on this issue. The matters are in people's court. They can see clearly what has happened there. So Damad is also covering himself for ED purposes and is trying to test water for Rahul Gandhi and his mother, because that is the line that they plan to take, defense of Pakistan. Under any circumstances, even if Pakistan declares war, Congress party and this company, that is Sonia Gandhi and the son, will support Pakistan. So, I mean, let there be no doubt about it that their loyalty is towards Pakistan. And that has been established. Now, once again, they're saying that the fault line is with our government, with our party. The fact of the matter is the fault line is with the Congress party, which uses appeasement as a tool kit for garnering votes. And beyond that, it is only lip service to the Muslim community with the radicals and the Pakistani establishment. Without doubt, this only goes to establish that.
Talk about Hindutva, to talk about political ideologies. It almost sounded like something, an excerpt out of a manifesto. Why would something like this be said when the entire nation is focused on some sort of a sense pervading when it comes to these terrorist attacks?
Well, they're testing waters, as I told you. This is the narrative that they want to build, and this is the kind they were trying to test waters through the damad. Ultimately, they can dump the damad when they want. But the point is, he is ready to do their tasks, and so be it. So we know their mind and what they intend to do. So when the Dynas returns, he will take these lines, and you can be rest assured this is probably the line that they're going to take.
All right, sir, appreciate you speaking with us. Adit wants to say something. Adit, go ahead.
I think can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, the Congress party today is basically an embodiment of what Muslim League used to be between 1920s and 1946. They are acting exactly like that. So basically, if you remember the Calcutta Direct Action Day, the Muslim League was basically calling out Hindutva for being the problem makers. But actually, it was the Muslim League which went out and killed everybody during the Calcutta Direct Action Day. And that is exactly what the Congress party of today have become. They talk about Hindutva. What is Hindutva? Hindutva is essentially the essence of being Hindu. And that is what the Supreme Court also defines Hindutva as. So, again and again, going back to the bandwagon of painting Hindutva as this some sort of, totalitarian regime, this has to be called out and this has to be dismantled, because all they're doing is they're providing cover fire to the Islamists at the end of the day. So the Islamist who's wielding a gun at you or holding you hostage is not that scary, or who's not to be feared as much as the Congress party of today should be feared, because they are the ones who are providing cover fire and they're gaslighting our sort of plight all in all. That's all I wanted to add.
Sumit, quickly, then we'll go to General Rajesh Kumar.
Vineet, Congress and Pakistan, ये पता नहीं लगता कहाँ कौन शुरू होता कहाँ कौन खत्म होता. That is what it has become. Now Mr. Vadra is suggesting you, if you are a Hindu, you got killed in Kashmir. It is because you are a Hindu, and it is because there's a party called BJP, and it is possibly because you voted for the BJP that created a divide, and it's because of that divide, Pakistani General Asim Munir decided to kill you in Kashmir, and because we cannot mourn your death, and we are okay with you because you are a Hindu and you voted for BJP, and Prime Minister Modi is a Hindu. So for Hindus getting killed in Kashmir or anywhere is perfectly okay because you are a Hindu. Yeah, it's how I could interfere it, because you're a Hindu and it is okay for you to get killed, and a reason can be any. But Pakistan did nothing. Pakistani terrorists did nothing. Nobody did anything. They are in a way justifying you because you started to smash Hindutva and Hinduism. So Hindu got killed because of that, because Hindus voted BJP. So it's a repercussion of your karma. If I could kind of dissect it, is in a way saying it's a repercussion of your karma. You voted BJP or a Hindu. ये तुम्हारी गलती, इसलिए पाकिस्तान का आतंकवादी तुम्हें मारेगा भैया, कोई बात नहीं है, मस्त रहो. That is what I interfere for this.
Okay, General Rajesh Kumar, the job of our security forces and our agencies is also to understand what internal threats are actually causing a number of problems and these escalations when it comes to these terrorist attacks. How do you respond to what Robert Vadra has said, though it's very political in nature?
See, unfortunately, in this time of a great tragedy, we are politically so goddamn divided. At times it borders on naivete, as if the people of India do not understand. But there's a much bigger question, which comes to my mind. The first, see, the road to prosperity in Jammu and Kashmir started off somewhere in 2015, 16, and is progressing very, very well. We had the elections at the local level, then we had the elections at the state level, and we have elected government of. Now, so that's a vague thing which has happened when you look back to what we were, our status in 1989, when the insurgency started in a big way, when the ethnic cleansing started, when these Hindus got moved out, when the Chhattisgarh thing happened, well, President Clinton was visiting here. So we come a long way. So in that little journey, an odd mishap should not throw us off guard, is my caution to my people in the political arena. You see, it's a great journey. Things can go wrong, will go wrong once a while. So what? Our security forces, our military, our army and air force and the strategic leadership will deal with it. It is just that we need some time, and we'll do it decisively at the time and place of our choosing, like we did last time. So that is not a real concern. But the concern is our peace dividend are the people of Kashmir.
Absolutely.
They have seen things happening, and that we should ensure that their morale is good, they get their tourists right, and they help us in hounding these underground or overground workers.
So just hold on to that thought. In fact, there's more than Mr. Vadra has said. Listen it.
In our country, we see that this government will try and show that, talk about Hindutva, and, the minorities feel uncomfortable, and, they feel troubled when you have a survey on, mosques, or you tell people you cannot pray in this way or that way. These kind of things create instability, communal issues. And if you see the way this act, if you dissect this terrorist act that took place, if they're looking at people's identity, why are they looking at people's identity? Because there's a divide that has come about in our country with Hindus and Muslims and also Christians. On Easter, I saw video footage of churches being burnt, priests being troubled. What is this? Why are we having, a communal disharmony in our country? This will create divides. This will create these kind of organizations to feel that Hindus are making a problem for all the Muslims. We don't need that. You ask many Hindus and Muslims together, they help each other. In COVID, we saw they help each other. They don't understand all these political ways of, trying to infuse some, or win elections or infuse some kind of disorder in people.
Mr. R.P. Singh, BJP national spokesperson, is joining us on the phone line. Mr. Singh, how do you react to what Mr. Robert Vadra has said? I mean, I'm still trying to digest and process what he's actually said, saying that it's the machismo of Hindutva that's provoking these people to kill Hindus.
Well, it's shocking that Robert Vadra, who's a novice in politics and still read a lot of stories on public life and social issues, he's talking about Hindu Muslims. That's it. This is a problem of terror. And then it's a problem which has been generated across the border and then which is creating problems in the country. So he can do whatever he wants to do with us Hindu Muslims. The fact is that it's a time for the whole of the country to come together against this movement of greed and then should strengthen the government to or the army to do the needful.
All right. Sir, appreciate you joining us. Mr. Sood, you alluded to something like this when it comes to, politics basically being infused into a problem which is not India-centric. Terrorism is a problem that is afflicting the entire world. Why should this be classified and relegated to the Hindu-Muslim community?
You see, this is the policy of the Congress. When Manmohan Singh was in power, in 2006, they wanted to give Siachen to Pakistan. In 2012, again they wanted to give Siachen to Pakistan. If Siachen was given to Pakistan, then we would have lost Leh Ladakh. This is their policy. They had been supporting Muslims. When our soldiers were being killed at the border, at that time the defense minister used to say, no. This is not Pakistan army, this is militants, Pakistan army doesn't support them. They were always defending Pakistan. They were always against Hindus, they were always against India, and as I said initially also, that whenever Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, something big happens in India. And this is not it by chance. This is a policy. This is their policy to attack India, to attack Hindus. And I was talking about Nepal also. When Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister, Sonia Gandhi had accompanied him and gone to Nepal. She wanted to visit the temple there. But the temple authorities refused to entertain them, saying that Sonia Gandhi is a Christian. And you see, that's the hate Hindu campaign. Although the temple was controlled by pujaris who belonged to Karnataka's mutt, even the king did not have any control to that. They put embargo on Nepal. Finally, they removed the king. I was in Nepal when the king was removed. Agitations was started, Maoists were hiding in India, no action was taken. We had been warning them, we had been cautioning them, but nothing was done. And finally, when the change of government was there, Yechuri, he was sent by Sonia Gandhi to Nepal. He didn't meet Indian ambassador. He met Chinese ambassador and ensured that a communist was appointed as the Prime Minister of Nepal. This is their policy. They hate Hindus, and they are now openly coming out. Whatever the Congress policies are, they are in the open. They don't hide it. And I appreciate their role.
All right. So, I'm coming back to you, Mr. Mani, just once again. Some bodies of the Pahalgam terror attack are reportedly being brought to Delhi. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and Delhi BJP President Virendra Sachdev will be, in fact, at this venue, and we can see that.
request you all to leave. Please. Thank you.
All right, well, those are visuals of Lieutenant Vinay Narwal, who lost his life in the Pahalgam terror attack. The Indian Navy also is mourning the death of Vinay Narwal, who tragically fell into the hands of those terrorists. Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi and the Navy has expressed deep condolences to the family and the young officer, who was in fact on honeymoon in Kashmir with his wife Himanshi. She could be seen in those visuals sobbing uncontrollably. In fact, let me once again just rope in Mr. Mani also into this conversation as well. Mr. Mani, this is obviously heartbreaking, it's unwanted, and it is something that needs to be avenged. But obviously there is this deep-seated bias, there is this deep-seated imagery that has been put in front of the nation that is absolutely untrue when it comes to secularism in our country.
Basically, I was listening to Robert Vadra's statement, which is straight out of the sheet of some brief provided by ISI. There is nothing else I can say. I have already said on several occasions, 26/11 and few other terrorist attacks was a fixed match between Indian National Congress and ISI. Now it reinforces and validates that. Especially you see whom have we lost? Few intelligence officers. One was posted in Secunderabad. It's a very sensitive place for IB. And an Indian naval officer on a honeymoon. Indeed, they were on personal trips. Notwithstanding that, how is it that it was? They were targeted killings. We have and our gentleman, the son of a Congress president, comes as the gall to say that there is a Hindutva into it. When they were picked up, they were doing their national duty, they were national assets, whether it is Vinay Narwal or Lieutenant Vinay Narwal or the other officers who were killed, or the Air Force officers whose sister had come out on the TV from Arunachal Pradesh. They were all doing national duties. When our defense forces, our intelligence forces, security forces do not discriminate between Hindutvas and Muslims and Islamic terrorism. A terrorist is a terrorist. And now the reinforcement comes that the leading party, now how much national it is, but it is portraying itself as an anti-national party. That's a very important point. This is a place of mourning. We have some very Asif Munir has carried out, and they are lauding his victory by saying that they are playing into his hands.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely condemnable. He should have withdrawn his state, or the government should resist a case against him. Absolutely. About the Robert Vadra saying that on what basis has he said? Has he got a brief from the Pakistan High Commission? Has he got a brief from the ISI, or has he got something else? As my friend Mr. Sood had said, whenever Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, a terrorist attack takes place. Is there any linkage between these things? Are they trying to create a division within the country of again another partition, another division between the Hindus and the Muslims where they are living cordially? It's absolutely unacceptable. It should be condemned. That's what I wanted to be a final word.
All right. At this point in time, General Shankar Roy Chaudhary, former Army Chief, is with us on the broadcast. Sir, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with Newsx. Sir, first up, how should India respond to this terror attack is the big question on everyone's mind.
The word is counterterrorism. Counterterrorism, which is not warfare, it is counterterrorism. So India has to respond by counterterrorism. Who the enemy is the terrorist. So it has to respond by counterterrorism.
And so what is needed to take out this entire terror network from Kashmir is also an important aspect.
From Kashmir is our territory. There have been terrorism in our territory. So we have to practice counter-terrorism, which has many aspects. We have to practice that.
And so how do we hold Pakistan responsible for this attack?
Pakistan is a sponsor of the attack. Pakistan is sponsoring terrorism and we need to take it out. Not Pakistan, terrorism out.
And so how do we ensure this does not put to a halt the booming tourism that we got to see over the last few months in Jammu and Kashmir?
That is a difficult question to answer because tourists will not be attracted where there is terrorism. So the basic issue is put an end to terrorism.
So appreciate you joining us. We have to take a break, but before that, let me quickly get Sumit Peer to respond to what Robert Vadra has just said. Mr. Mani Sumit Peer is of the opinion that this is a script which has been straight away handed by the ISI to him.
Vineet, what Mr. Vadra is talking, either he lives in Mars or he's acting too naive or he's taking somebody's brief. I agree with Mani Saab. This brief could have only come from Pakistan and ISI or their High Commissioner possibly, because this is exactly what Pakistan needs. When Pakistan is isolated, when everybody knows who carried this heinous crime, then you have the Damadji of Congress come and say, look, it is because of this Hindutva, because these Hindus are so bad, it's because of this Hindutva is so bad, because this Modi is so bad, Muslims are isolated, minorities feel threatened, and because they feel threatened, then Pakistan decides to send a couple of terrorists and they kill these Hindus, and it is because the Hindu is like that, so they deserve to be killed in Kashmir, and it is because you're a Hindu, you deserve to be killed. That is what he's saying. What I find very appalling is he's saying, why I saw videos on a Easter morning, that is 2 days back, churches were attacked and decimated. Bhai, kahan hua Vadra sahab? I mean, if Indians are so bad and they're so bad to Christians and churches are decimated in India, why should European Union stand behind you? Why should Donald Trump stand behind you? Do you think they are not Christian countries? Do you think they don't practice Christianity? So why should the biggest and the most powerful Christian nations in the world be behind you and support Prime Minister Modi and condemn this terror? But Robert Vadra will not take name of Pakistan. They will not take name of ISI. They will not take name of Asim Munir. They will not condemn terrorists. They will blame Hindus for getting killed. That is the reality. Because you are a Hindu, you got killed because you are a Hindu. It's exactly the same thing. Where in India did churches get vandalized, Mr. Vadra? Can you name 5 places? I did not hear anything. I said on Easter morning, I said churches getting attacked.
No word on Murshidabad also.
So where did that happen? And if Hindus are so bad, why are all the Christian countries of the world supporting you? Why does America want to have a BTA with you? So you means that everybody has compromised. Why did Pope Francis meet Modi ji then?
All right, Sumit. Sumit, we've run out of time. Appreciate your sentiment and emotion. I'm sure we'll get to hear more of it. Right now, we're dipping into a short break. We'll be back with more.
Hello. You're coming there, right?
Global leaders, entertainment's के sharp minds और innovators who are breaking boundaries. Music हो, cinema या live performances, past, present or future icons, सब यहीं मिल रहे हैं.
This isn't just about entertainment.
The biggest deals, investments, collaborations, this is where they happen.
The Prime Minister himself is sitting down with industry leaders, shaping global policies and partnerships.
Really, nine platforms, bade collaborations, a global audience. It's about breaking boundaries and taking creativity to places we never imagined.
Exactly. This is where ideas become reality.
The biggest stage, the sharpest minds, I'm definitely in.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें आईटीवी और इंडिया न्यूज़ का मीडिया स्कूल। आईटीवी नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। आईटीवी नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से आईटीवी नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ जो देश को रखते हैं हर खबर से बाखबर। आईटीवी नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का ये कोर्स आपके एंकरिंग स्किल्स को करेगा इतना सशक्त, मजबूत, जिससे आप बनेंगे पत्रकारिता की दुनिया का वो चमकता चेहरा जो दुनिया देखेगी और पसंद करेगी।